Good day, guten Tag. I am Vlad the Impaler. You know why? Oh, yes, because I love it to be impaled. Welcome to the Lionese Tarot Tracks. No Tarot Tracks. No, nein. Ich liebe dich. And yeah, why is this still this? Oh, I must put it back on the camera. Rather. Then I find I must change it. Yes, tonight, welcome. Or today, wherever you are in the world that you're receiving this. I hope you are hearing me 5x5. This is just my intro to the show. Welcome to the show. Yes, I have no choice. Choo choo. Please, if you haven't yet, subscribe. Please hit the little bell. When you do, I thank you for all of those who have subscribed. And I'm only here for you, choo choo. You know that, don't you? Don't you? Is it bright enough? Can you see me? Too bright. Yeah. So there's terrible glare glasses. But I do have a story for you. Yes, and I'll talk it in my best English just for you. So, after this weekend, the last 8 days of this, our Lord's year of 2024, it is the year of 8. And as it says in the description, it is telling us it is the day of reckoning. And the day of Epiphany is just past. The day of Epiphany was the actual birthday of Jesus. Who knew? We find this out this year. Somebody just told us that it's the Russians and the Greeks and the Orthodox Armenians have been. But we'll get back onto that. Let's talk about Katt Williams just ruining the show in Hollywood. Or is it? Is it? Or this is a ruse? Because I don't know. I'm sure you do. You watch your Netflix, and you may be of a darker melanin than I, and will know Katt Williams. I mean, whose baby is this? That's what I know him from. I'll put the description when I get through what I want to say, because I'm sure nobody's going to be watching this right now. But anyway, yes, this is my live, and I've got a lot to go through. I'm going to be talking Katt Williams. I'm going to be talking Dolly. The Turtle Island season 3 finale was saucy. I must say, there were a few tears, and less cheers, and lots of money from Australia. I must say, Australia being put in them. Anyway, let me moving on. Baptism, we were talking reincarnation. This is post Rose, and a lot of the gimmick of Christianity is to show your submission to Jesus Christ. But it's truly not about that. The Bible, Jesus got baptized by John. But they are showing their public recognition of being, and I just saw some old family members who went there last year to be baptized. That is in the River Jordan. Or is it the Sea of Galilee? No, it's the River Jordan. I don't know. One of the places where everybody goes, even Tony Blair went. But anyway, let's move on. Moving on. There's a lot of decks we're spinning here, just like a hip hop star, a DJ. Rose, firstly, let's just say one thing. 505. Please don't include me in any candle magic spells on your live shows. That will get me going bye-bye very fast. And I didn't know how fast I was lured into a candle magic show on the birth of Jesus, but whatever. You never know who people really are until you're really sitting next to them. And so we're moving on now. Just you can do it. Just I see your 9-hour lives. I don't watch them all through. And then, of course, the clips in America. I was talking about, excuse me, this to Rose and her on her show in her house in the Victoria Rose. Is it the Victoria? It is. It is the kitchen basement. She there's going to be a solar eclipse in America on the 8th of April. Complete solar eclipse, but through Texas and Maine, I think to Maine as well. I'm not too sure. Complete. The moon will come in front of the sun, and there won't even be corona. That swear word. And then, yes, everybody does think it's the end of the world, and in so thousands of years ago, I'm sure the civilizations even before that, millions of years ago, they thought it was going to be the end of the world when there's a total solar eclipse, especially the Indians in Texas and the Choctaw. No mean. Yeah, and what more can I talk about? But the folding of space and time, and that's how we get to other dimensions faster. But before I tell you about that, America is going to the moon, and it's going to be, it's already today or yesterday. Today, one of these days, no, yesterday, today, the 8th, earlier today, central our time, they shot off this huge rocket. NASA, I tell you, they shot off this rocket and went through the stratosphere. But then they had to use CGI cameras because they don't exactly have another vehicle riding next to it with a webcam. I mean, where's that Tesla that's out there perusing the galaxy, or well, going around the planet? Remember that one that went out? So NASA shot off its first little blimp to the moon. It's the first landing that's going to be on the moon. That's going to be part of the entire mission for human landing on the moon. Real stuff. Real. For real. And so, where do we start? Epstein Island. No, first Turtle Island. Turtle Island 3. Season finale. Last night. Dolly Vision. And PJ. PJ is his new girlfriend and is the new policeman on the YouTube streets of Kramerville. If you don't know what Kramer is, it's the true crime community with their drama. And that's what me and Rose are. We're Kramer, with a lot of aliens and existential spiritualism. Yes, we'll call it that. Decisions, but the truth has got to be told, I tell you. The truth has got to be told, and that's what this book with what's her name, Whitney Webster, Webb. She's this brilliant reporter that wrote a 1,000-page book about Epstein and how it's all connected to how all the leaders have been manipulated by greasing them up with the young ladies on Epstein Island. But why I'm supposed to be talking about Turtle Island. Turtle Island, everybody's upset. Everybody's upset. There's about to be a civil war on the YouTube streets. While that's going on, this is going down. Let's get to the real stuff, because there's a painting on Epstein Island, which I made a video of, I think a TikTok video in the beginning, 2020. 2020. And everybody said I was mad. I don't know what I'm talking about. You're a conspiracy theorist. And it turns out it's not even a photograph of him at a dress, which actually would have been worse. It was a painting. It's a painting. It's a hand painting in Epstein's island. Now, why is the island also in the regalia, or in the whole theme of Egypt and the pharaohs? You know, that whatever it is it a jacuzzi? Is it a dome? Is it a telescope that can see? I trust it's not, because it's known as Pedo Island. And the best part is Trump is exonerated. Okay, he threw actually Epstein out of his own Mar-a-Lago. He obviously knew everything, and they don't talk. It's like Tucker Carlson doesn't talk about his experiences with aliens and info wars. With some things you just can't express too much, because it's too bizarre for people to understand. But you know Katt Williams, you know him from the movies. He's one of the best. He is the best. He claims to be the best, and he just spilled the beans on Hollywood. And Ice Cube just came out and said, yes, he's about 100 on everything about there. You see, let's get back to the Epstein Island and the Illuminati that he is fighting. You either choose the Illuminati and the 20 million a movie, or 20 million, whatever, 20 movies. How many Fast and Furious movies are there? There's 10, hey? There's 10 more to go. It's either a slave or you're irrelevant. You know, we were talking about reincarnation, and I said yes, because the Bible, they teach us that Jesus came back and then they didn't recognize Jesus because he was a reincarnation. Or from a different dimension, because we only see 5% of the visual light spectrum that there is. If we saw everything, we would fall, we would collapse. We wouldn't be able to handle, like here. So this is how David Icke explains it: folding space and time. So you have one planet here, or one galaxy here. You want one galaxy here, and the other galaxy here. Now you want to go there, and it's 50 million light years away. See? Now, to half it, you fold the time. You fold time, and you change everything. You get there immediately through a wormhole. There've been people who've been doing this for a long time, it seems. And this what we're sending to the moon, what America and it's fascinating. SpaceX, they send you. That's why they need to get the big mothership out there to do the big payloads, to also orbit the moon, and to drop all these little blimps off to join up this base on the moon for these 3 individuals. It's going to be incredible. let's get back to baptism. Why? Is because it comes from the Egypts, the Ra and Horus, and yes, Rose was saying, but that we know from the Freemasons and Hiram. Hiram was the architect of of Solomon's temple, and that's what it looks like, Solomon's temple, that Epstein Island job. Yeah. So Hiram, he was murdered, the architect, and forever lost. He's the key. But what we learn in that book is how kingship is passed on. And as soon as the king dies, his last breath, then that breath is supposed to go be transited back into. And so Rose was saying, isn't that how Jesus came back to life again? He was possessed by a demon. You know, Rose, you know what? Christians invented the devil. It's only been around like 600 years or 400 years. Before that, there was no devil. There was just beasts out there that we had to kill. So that's what would give us a fright. I'm lucky. I was raised by an Aquarian, taught me standard 5, that's grade 7. They're no monsters. And after that, I knew there were no monsters. Lord have mercy. There is the lady herself. Are you going to come up? Don't call me that professor stuff over again. No, don't you dare. Land of mercy. At least you can come up here because it's StreamYard. Yeah, that's why. You know, I'm blocked on your channel, like you blocked on my channel. And yes, so I I I did comment on your live. Well, and yes, and you missed it. I knew that you didn't see it. But anyway, so I was talking about the baptism and the Hiram key, and how they transfer the spirit of God, because the king or the pharaoh or the god is the representative of God on this planet. And so father becomes son, son becomes father. But we forget that Jesus' father was not Joseph, it was God. Well, actually, Archangel Michael. There's a famous painting. There's a famous painting that's been hidden away of Michael, Archangel Michael, raping. Oh, I mustn't say that word. Taking advantage of Mary, Mother Mary, who was underaged, just like on Pedo Island. That's not the turtle one. That's the what did you say, Miss Sippy? Miss Sippy Talker says, if you want, I will for a few. Wow. Let me get invite, because I'm not on chat. But you won't be seen in the chat. So only what I paste will go up on the screen. There, did you see it? Yeah, we're going to practice our British voices, our Britishish voices. Are you going to give me a hard time, darling? What am I getting myself into? At least I've got these earbuds in. Yes. So while we wait for Mississippi, it's been a great 8 days so far. Incredibly incredible. And, you know, back to the baptism, even Tony Blair. Do you see it there? Do you want me to come up? Please come. Introduce yourself to my side of the world. this is the one and the only gospel singer that still wants to know me, I hope. Of course, I want you to come up on panel. Miss Sippy asks, do you want me to come up on panel? I said, well, you're the only one there. I think you need to come up. I think it is a new year, and I think we've all gotten a little bit older and stronger. Let me get my phone. I will take a few. Not a problem at all. Thank you for keeping me waiting. So I'll get back to the baptism. Tony Blair, he was the prime minister. Well, yeah, prime minister of the United Kingdom and Ireland, and Northern Ireland, and he famously, basically, was the executive officer of our great Bush Jr. president of the time of the States of America, because they're not united, and it was Tony Blair who traipsed across the globe to every westernized country like Australia, New Zealand, South Africa. No, not South Africa. We're not westernized anymore. We're Africanized now. And so he was the bulldog of Bush Jr. And I saw an article when I was in Dublin with him at a baptism at the River Jordan. It is the River Jordan as well. And everybody wears white. Of course, it was the baptism of, I wonder who it was. It was a peculiar person for Tony Blair to be at a baptism of. But anyway, besides the reason why I'm talking about the baptism, because now Rose is saying, because that's what I preach, is if you don't want to believe in Jesus Christ and make him your Lord and Savior, I suggest you go to any free there's many, I'm sure, especially in America, maybe not in Maine, but you could find a place and get somebody to baptize you. There's no words needed to be said. Obviously, you would hope to have somebody that is living a cleaner life, because nobody really lives the cleanest life. So we're waiting for Mississippi talking, and I'll carry on. So anybody can baptize you. Unfortunately, here we have these baptism ceremonies, and I'm going to say unfortunately, it's like I'm putting myself on the line here. I shouldn't, because down by the river here, the locals, I'm thinking they're locals, they middle class African people who are dressing up in sort of fashionable traditional gear, getting baptized. Meanwhile, the brook, is a heavier little river, and it's filthy. It's road effluent. If you walk up the river, you see all the motor vehicle car parts. It's toilets. It's everything. I mean, ducks do live there. And I saw a crab today. I'll post it tomorrow. On the dog walk, we found this huge, ginormous crab. It was spectacular. Maybe I'll show it to you. Where is the crab? Oh, no, man. Just do that. Yes. Oh. I'm a bad cameraman. I've learned that many times. I'm mistakes.
What's in your pincer?
And then I have another one there.
Shame.
Cray. So it's livable water, but you don't want to be baptized in it. Well, if it's running over the waterfalls, getting some sort of filtration. I was thinking maybe we get like sunshade cloth, so it gathers all the grime and the dirt and this is not a salt river. But anyway, let's get to your baptism. So I'm walking back. I did the big long walk with the dogs. I'm walking back, and an African man dressed with nice and the earphones and everything, doing his morning jog. And he said, I can't believe those people are baptizing in this water. Look at it here, because you just a little bit up and it's just stagnant and it's sitting and it's gathering this slow floating rubbish, can here, can there. Wow. But each to his own. That's what I say. And that's why I got into trouble, because no, you're dabbling in the left hand path. I said, no, it's time to understand there is no left hand, right hand. There is no good Jesus, no bad Jesus. There is only what you see and what you believe you see. And so if you see an angel, you won't see it. It'll be a human being. Or if you see a devil, you won't see it. It'll be a human being. It's only because you see things the way you want to see it. We create our own reality. And sometimes when we poke through the dimension, these entities poke through the dimensions, then we can see them in front of us. But what is her name? Webster. Whitney Webb. Look her up at Whitney Webb. Whitney Webb. You can check her out on the podcast called Redacted, at Redacted on YouTube. At Redacted. Got about 2 million subscribers in the interviews, but you can see there's a few people interviewing her. She's the hot stuff on the YouTube alternative, not alterative. Alterism. I had to check in the Webster's what alterism is, and that's what the aim of life is on of what people believe we are supposed to be following, this life of altruism. And the definition of altruism is taking care of old people without any. It's selflessness, basically selflessness. And oh, you'll be back in 6 minutes. Great. It's redacted. At redacted. Sippy says she'll be back in 6 minutes. So, Ben, this is what I don't want to ruffle the world. No, that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to make you laugh. And think. Hee ha ha. Because everybody thought I was funny from the beginning anyway. Funny, strange. But you see, I don't do good well. I'm not the Prometheus, I'm the devil. And just like it's the Christians who create the West, I'd never seen what a devil looked like until I saw a Christian gospel video. And they had to make the most realistic looking devil to install that into your mind, to create the fear, the false evidence appearing real. But why do we get baptized? Let's get back to that wheel, that cog in the machine. Because the pharaohs did. Because Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, did. And had to be, because he was about to be murdered and whipped alive and tortured. It's an amazing story, which I heard the other side. Me and my divination, they call it, trying to read the tarot cards for you. I only take it out for the camera. I don't take it out for myself. I don't need it. I've got to go with my spirit. I have tried it once or twice and they were right, but I don't, because you've got to go with what's right. And most of the time, it's time. At the right time in life is what is right. I'm lucky. I have a stellium. And this, I've got, although this astrologer said if you've got Venus and Saturn next to each other, conjunct as they call it, which is going to happen, well, it happens once a year for everybody. But if you're born with that on the day you were born, then you will only find love after about your age 30 in life. You'll only show love to the ones you love later in life. Plus, I have Mercury and the Sun all together there. But what's happening on the 11th is new moon. So the moon and the sun are going to be together with Pluto, moving for the first time into Aquarius. We had it a bit last year, I think. It goes backwards, forwards, backwards, forwards. You've heard retrograde, that's going backwards. It's not going backwards. It looks like it's going backwards from the point of view of us on Earth. And then it is going to also go back into Capricorn, I think in September to November, and then go back into Aquarius for the next 21 years. This is Pluto. Pluto takes 377 years or something. I'm sure somebody can put it in the comments how, when, and where, if you really want to Google it now, but I'm talking. I've got to keep no dead air, So it stays in one sign for about 21 years. And it's going to move into Aquarius. Aquarius is the revolutionary. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, Father Sky, the first planet, the first Roman god that gave birth to Jupiter and Saturn, or Saturn and Jupiter and Mars, was his sons. And so this is the Prometheus spirit, the leader, the revolter, the revolutionary, and the resistance, the resistance. So that's what Pluto, the planet of Scorpio, transformation, shedding your skin. It's gone one time around since the beginning, the birth of the United States Constitution. It's gone one time around the sun. That's Pluto. And now it's moving into Aquarius, but is coming out of Capricorn. Capricorn is Saturn. Saturn is father god of time, Kronos, who ate all his children. Do you think that's a pedophile? Let me get one thing straight. We call them pedos and pedophiles, but you know it's a paraphernalia they're addicted to. It's the sex offenders that's the dangerous people, which I'm sure I've done things that seem like sex offenders, but I'm not. Now I look back, and I was underage. There's a lot of things I wish he didn't do, but he did. That's why they call me Vlad the Impaler. It's because I like to be impaled. Remember, this is an adult entertainment channel. There could be swearing. There's a adult entertain. Are you coming up as Sippy or you entertain? And how do you spell entertainment? Leonese, if you please. Please use discernment. Now, Sippy thinks he's going to come up for 2 hours. I'm only coming up for a short time. Decrement, not decrement, discernment. Thank you. So, the Total Island. Oh, I didn't watch it all, but seriously, Paper Cut Tina is distraught, as usual. But Rose was mega pissed off because Dolly said that she's allowed to, what is that word? Stream, what? Hustle stream, no. Stream. When you're streaming somebody else's live, like I was doing at the beginning of the show, I was streaming the live stream of what was it? The train, yeah? That was the Norway train. It's a train in Norway, and that's why Sippy got introduced. She got introduced to Vlad long time ago. Yes. So now, I lost my train of thought. Yes, I'm Vlad the Impaler. I took them to Siberia on my train. That's where I get the Lyonese train from. But yes, let's get back to Hollywood and all the divisions that divide. Yes. Because it's all because of the religion. It's all because of the religion. Real, lie, gene. You know what a gene is? For anybody that's watching now, they don't know what a gene is. It's DJ. I think it's spelled many ways. This is an Arab spirit from the desert, Mississippi. Are you there? I hear you knocking on heaven's door. Let's play a song on Sippy's. Yes, Mississippi is the only gospel singer I know. 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 You know, sunshine when she's gone. She's always gone too long. Anytime she goes away. Eddie Bond.
When I was young, so much younger than today, I never needed anybody's help.
Coming from the bushes.
Any kind of way. Now those days are gone, and I'm not so self-assured. I'm changing my mind. Open up the doors. Help me. If you can, I'll figure that. And I do appreciate you being around.
You don't have a StreamYard link. Help me. Help me. Maybe I need some help, actually. I need some help. Maybe it's me that needs help. But you can't drop links with a YouTube live. You can only drop the link with the StreamYard live. So put some, what do you call it? What do you call it? You call it your settings. Are you going through your settings now? Come up as what is the other, your other clone? Not your clone, Abadeep. Come up as Abadeep. We all know Abadeep. I saw. That's when last I argued with you was with Abadeep, wasn't it? Come, let's talk evil spirits. Come, Sippy. Let's sing and pray the spirits away. Oh yes. What else I wanted to talk about? The last thing that I wanted to talk about on this story was Rory. It's been quite a long story, this train trip. Kim Jong-un. Yeah, Kim Jong-un is the leader of the Democratic People's Republic of Northern Korea. Kimmy, we'll call him. He just made Donald Trump win the 2024 United States election. Well, it's not united, it's the States of America election 2024. Kimmy, you're going to leave and come back. Okay. Ich verstehe. I understand how this difficult it is. No problem. Kim Jong-un just won. Do you know what he said? To put the nail in the coffin, as to speak as Vlad the Impaler, who likes to be impaled, said he will wipe the states of America off the map on his New Year's Eve speech. Now, Mr. Trump did have a nice agreement going there, a gentleman's handshake, almost on the golf course. But this information will let his people know that he's the only one to keep peace in the world for the next 8 years, isn't it? Because the way it's going now, nobody's going to save Israel. Just Biden. No. Who knows? I can't talk about these people. These people are all con artists. They're all mean a-holes, you know. Well, there's one more thing. Yes, there is one more thing. the ancient word for art and the arts. I liked it when Katt Williams was talking about the arts. Stop saying showing the OK sign. His craft, the craft. Now he don't do drugs. He don't do drugs. He do hard drugs because he grew up homeless. He grew up homeless in a park, Miami, underage. He was 12, and he didn't want to suck no dick, so he stole car radios, vehicle radio, broke it. He was coming from a Jehovah's Witness father in Utah. And he had a fight with his father and he had to leave. Him and his puppy Rottweiler. And he had to live on his own on the streets. It was Katt Williams. And why he didn't do drugs? Because he saw all these lawyers, doctors, accountants, also on the streets for making a mistake. One mistake. And then they became addicted. So he said, no, but he's a man of God. But he drinks like a fish. And he's never been married. And is a single parent of 5 kids and 5 daughters. And his entourage is woman. He has woman roll his weed for him. Because he don't want to be around 20 women for 20 years when man's spitting in his mouth, smoking his blunt. Welcome to my Creamerville. Let's get back to the jinn. You see, the jinn are these Arab monsters that my Aquarius father didn't know about. But you can check YouTube videos. They speak to these spirits in Arabic. But you see, it all could be just as we make reality. We create it. And you can create up a motherfucking scary monster. Or you don't have to. It's all in your mind. It's the fear. Sippy, are you back? Gonna come and leave. Like a gin. Go ahead, get a gin and tonic. Anyway, this is an adult entertainment channel. And yeah, so are these jinn? For sure they were. Even in the ancient Old Testament, they saw these things that came down from the heaven, describing angels and God and this spaceship. Because how do you describe it? How do you describe eyes when you've never seen a light bulb? There's an epiphany. How do you describe eyes when you've never seen a light bulb? Now, he describes these wheels turning like this, and each wheel had a big eye. And these eyes see everything. Never mind these drones above my head, watching these military drones. Military. But it's not the military, it's just military spec drones. Dang it, I can't do it on this phone. Mississippi Talker says, dang it, I can't do it on this phone. Do you have time for me to boot the laptop? Yeah. I can't even hear you now. sad. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Miss Sippy. I don't know if should I take these out. I don't even know if I can hear myself. I should go onto my channel and see if I'm actually live. Yeah, 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 yeah. Say, help me. I was playing your song, introducing you. Respond by typing. Can't hear nothing. Did you hear me playing your Mississippi? Oh, no. Dum, dum, dum.
Won't you please, please help me? Now my life has
I
changed,
love
it's
this part.
changed in so many ways. My dependency seems to vanish in the haze. But every now and then I feel please help me.
So. Sippy, do you know it's going to be an eclipse in America? You know, America, there's going to be an eclipse. The the states of America are going to be eclipsed by the moon, and there's not going to be a corona. She's coming and going. She's gone to get her laptop. Of course you can. Anyway, so before she interrupted me the first time, I was on the Jesus thing again. Jesus the Christ, the anointed, the Christos, the Jesus oil. You see, that's what Rose was talking about. Yes, I know that teaching. Where when you have your heart and your mind aligned with your root chakra, which is in your coccyx, that's your life oil that keeps you going through your spine. That's something that nobody can replace. There's something they call it a nervous. It's not a sciatic nerve. It's coming from the heart. No, you can't go out now. Do you want that foodies? Do you want that foodies? Oh, I must show you what I'm wearing. Or should I? No, I shouldn't. It's too rude. I had to get this. I had to get this from from the. No, I'm not going to show you. Anyway, um, it's the eclipse, and this is the eclipse through Scorpio, and no, and so that means transformation, and that's what's going to be happening in America with a lot of riots this summer. But I was on the Jesus thing, and with Jesus, I learned on this one study, this audio book of um, Rudolf Steiner. Rudolf Steiner is what you would call an occultist, theosophical society member, speaking in over 100 years ago, describing how. And remember, our Bibles today, they were only mass printed after 1948 because that was the reason that we have, or in the last 100 years, that's why we have Israel today, is because of the Bible. Because the Christians want to have Israel there to go and get baptized in. You can hear now, great stuff. I lost my train. Choo choo! I lost my train. So, Rudolf Steiner was explaining they need it because of the climate. Back in 1908, the climate was so bad, was so smoky from the Industrial Revolution. There was so much pollution that they needed this concept of a savior. to make people realize the difference between good and bad, the left and the right. Yet it's the yin and the yang that we all need to deal with in life, the dark side of our beings. You have to amalgamate it with yourself. And that's what I'm saying to Rose is no, yes, you got to believe in the, well, I agree with her. You've got to believe in the right Jesus, but most of the Jesus preached is the wrong Jesus because it's man's dogma of Saturnian energy preaching time. Why do you say time? Because the world's going to come to an end. It's all going to come to an end. No, life does come to an end. That's one thing's for certain. Everything. Ash to ashes, dust to dust. Where do you think there's me and Sippy, we have one thing in common. There's no continuation of the line. And it's sad. But that's why we're here. That's why we on that's why we stop our egos. So no, 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 no. Who the fuck does he think he is? No, no, no. Just shut up. I'm going to go live now because I did try. I tried to go. No, I mustn't. Just leave the social media alone for a while, like a month, you know. But I couldn't. I had all this much to say. Did you see the video on Katt Williams? Let me put the link in the description below. Not in the description, where am I? There. Is it here? No, it's not there. Did you see the happy birthday to Richard, Mississippi? Did you see Rose started engraving the 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 candle, and then I thought, oh no, I don't want to be here right now. I must leave. Candles are one thing. Don't sign me out then. Why did you sign me out, YouTube? Sign in again. Am I only allowed to be signed in? Oh, they caught on to me. Can't put the link in. Okay, fine. I'll close that all. Bugger you, YouTube. There we go. Because I'm streaming on my virtual, finally ready to come up. Well, can I send you Goldie Ree? Not sure. What? Oh, wait. Oh, am I out? Am I out? No, I'm not out. Don't do that to me. Uh, Close that. Boom. I'm using a VPN. As I send it back, send it again. Do you need it again? Be most brilliant if you do, but I'm sure she won't, because maybe you're not allowed to come up. According to, let me see what it looks like. Where's my live? Is there a live? There's talk around. Did you see the interview with the House of Cards character and with Tucker Carlson? And he spoke in character from the House of Cards. Oh no, it's not there. They're going to chop me off again. Boom, 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 boom. What's Gold Tree? Gold Tree. Is that what your name is? Okay, Gold Tree. But I need to see you underneath here. There. A month. Okay, Gold Tree. But I need to see you underneath here. I actually went up on my own live. I did one better than Rose. Rose will, like, she taught us to type our own story, like us, even if there's nobody watching. She speaks to herself. Well, you know, it's us lonely people that speak to ourselves. Gold Tree. A month. Gold Tree. So I need something to trinky. I don't know why I need to change that. Settings. Change the, right. Oh no, it's up there. How do you change that thing from here? My trailer. Anyway, I need to get my mouth is so dry. Sippy, I'm wearing a hernia belt. You're a nurse. I'm wearing a hernia belt. Can you believe it? Did you know? I have to go and have an operation at the government hospital. We'll see how this looks. Does that work? I don't see that. I don't see no hearts. Show me those hearts. On. I want to be on. Show me the hearts. I don't see the hearts. Oh, I'm worse. To my email. Go tree. A month. As I send it to your email. Okay. Gosh. I'm not signed in yet. Am I signed in yet? I was signed out of everything. Gmail. I have to go into the other one. Oh. And I think I deleted everything. Yes, I'm great. That works. Compose. Sorry for the wait. Why are we waiting? It's getting irritating. Paste. Paste. You see, being 9 hours ahead of you makes it difficult. When I go to some lives, I have what? Let me go back to the studio. Sippy says, when I go to some lives, I have to go in as Ali Goldtree. Well, welcome, Ali. That's your new name. Welcome, Ellie. Welcome, Ellie Goldtree. Underscore welcome. Oh, oh. Oh my God, I caught you live. Yes, I've been alive for a whole hour. I've made some lapses, but I've been talking for an hour. I had to take a sip. I had to take a sip. What? Now it's best to put a question mark after a question. But what is not a question? Like why is not a question? Why is a letter. And the answer to why is Z. And Z's dead, baby. Z's dead. Go figure. I don't have the link in my email yet. Well, they give in the shamanic. It should be. Should be there. Maybe you blocked me there. Let's see. Boom, 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 boom. Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream. Boom, 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 boom. Bring me the sweetest that I've ever seen. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, it's sent, honey. At 10:39 p.m. Africanese time. Mr. Sandman, bring me your dream. So, Dot, tell me how you're doing. Did you watch Turtle Island? The final third season. I watched it on Rose's live because she was streaming Turtles, Dolly's live, and unfortunately, PJ came on and Janine, dreadful Janine, came on and said, no. I've never been blocked. I've never blocked you anyway. I have no idea what happened. There's a promise. No, I don't know. Unfortunately, what's his name? That Cromerville character called Benny Keys, the hitman, was correct. Blocked means blocked. But this is live. This is StreamYard. And so she was streaming Turtle Island, and PJ and Janine said, hell to the nay, 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 you stop streaming. There's that word they said. It's a new word on the streets, and I don't know, I can't get this linkage. Joining the CK again, email. Yes, I can. If kannst. Now, how's that happening? How's that happen? Oh, I'm watching myself. I'm watching myself here, and I think it's my live. Meantime, it's Rose. Did you see this with um, with Rose and Richard? It was Richard's birthday. I think I bumped into a ceremony, a ritual. So let me send that quickly again to the missus, the dearest Al Goldtree, to Al Goldtree. Um, Anyway, things happen and things happen. And Rolling Stones gather no moss. I'm screwed, lol, trying to distract myself from worries. I don't watch Turtle Island. Well, you should have with Rose. It was so funny because there's this epic war going on the streets, which I found out. It's the only time I watched Turtle Island was, and it was the finale. And are you backstage? Yay! And so you caught some of the Richard live. Yes. Well, you know, Richard is a final chap, but did you go? I lost you. Try it again. No, Mississippi. I lost you. I lost you, Mississippi. I like some of Rose's shows, but when they start being nasty, dot underscore. Well, I tell you, Dolly and PJ are much nastier than than Rose. Rose is all she's a team. You have to understand this. Rose is a team, and well, dot underscore is working for YouTube. It seems. No, everybody's working for YouTube. Yeah. I lost you. Damn it, Sippy, come back. Why did I press the wrong button? Anyway, nothing is working properly. Please come back, Sippy. Yeah, no, I can't watch 9 hours of a live. Um, only if you kept in the ring of things, and I'm not a Turtle Islander, but I suppose we should all be because that's what Turtle Island is all about. Is about raising awareness about your channel and making money for Dolly. And well, let me go on that. Are we in Mercury? No, what are we on the after effects? We're on the after effects of Mercury retrograde. On the 11th of January, on the 11th of January, we're going to have the new moon. Welcome, Mississippi. We're going to have the
Hi.
new moon. Welcome. How am I doing that? Nice. Nice. Vamo Gila Gila, you're always welcome in the space with me. How are you doing, Mississippi? Your mic is muted. Remember 9 hours. 9 hours from Mississippi. Maybe it's my internet. They don't like me working so late at night, you see. I'm just lighting a smoke for myself, too. One moment. I need a soundproof room. I actually know that down the road there's a down the road. It's pretty far. There's a studio for free. I can't hear you, Mississippi. Why can't I hear Mississippi? Mississippi. Maybe on the other one. Um, Scheiße. Where's my... There, now I hear it a little bit. Sounds like you're speaking through one of those machines that smokers speak through. Even here, I can't hear you. Wait, no. Sounds like you're speaking through one of those machines that smokers speak through. No. Oh well. Even here, I can't hear you. Wait, no. Sounds like you're speaking through one of those machines that smokers speak through. Yeah, YouTube is just playing its game. YouTube is playing its game with me because I complained. You know, as soon as you complain and you're nobody, you know, that's well, I'm just a nobody. Look at me. Look at my little trailer. I'm just a nobody. Damn tech difficulties. Well, you know, when you've been going for an hour and a bit, you've had your show, you know. And I've really had my show. I was just telling you, you've got an eclipse this year on the 8th of April, going across from Texas. A total solar eclipse. There won't be a corona, you know, that swear word we all hate. There won't even be a corona. It'll go completely dark in the middle of the day across America. And so this week is teardrop trailers are cute. Yeah, that's a teardrop trailer. Yes, yes, I love it. I did this one for because I heard Three Dot Dave, I don't know if you know him, bought a trailer. Well, he bought a property that had a trailer on it, and this mattress was filled, infested with rats, no, mice. And the woman that slept there slept on the mattress of mice. Anyway, yes. So retrograde, yes. Well, Pluto's come out of retrograde and Mercury's come out of retrograde. All the planets have come in out of retrograde, and you're going to have an eclipse over America this year. Just before your birthday, on the 8th of April. So hold on to your socks, ladies and gentlemen. America's going to even land on the moon this year. Did you know that? NASA took off today. Got to go back in. Yeah, no problem. Thank you very much. My sister from America, from Mississippi, and 3 other states, and she's been to a few places. She was a gospel singer, and she's the only gospel singer that was willing to know me today. I love you, Mississippi Talker. Miss you lots, missed you tons. Anyway, yeah, that's also my show for the today. Yes, being there low with the mice. Well, this year is the year of the tiger. No, not the tiger, man. Lionel, stop it. It's the year of the dragon, the wooden dragon. The lunar thing had an issue, apparently. Might not make it. Oh, really? Really, Dot? Well, it looks strange, even though they took off, and obviously you don't have this vehicle flying next to it, but it went CGI. It did. They did the exact same thing that they did in 1969 and the fake landing. They did the same thing with this capsule being opened up. It was a CGI movie. It wasn't the real thing, but we did see the rockets take off. But anyway, yeah, you know, you've got to have, yes, the year of the dragon, smiley face. It's the year of the dragon. Grrr. But it's only next month. There's Diezolt. Diezolt wants to come up. Is Diezolt going to work? Welcome, Diezolt. What do you got to say?
Holy fuck! I'm coming! Wallace! Ah! Ah!
Oh, I can hear. Very loud.
I think I deserve a applause for my poem.
Bipolar.
Yep, a poem. That's my poem. You want to hear it again?
Okay.
Hello?
Please do.
Wait, what?
Mute. Just press mute. Who's that? Who's Dizold? Are you a kid?
I'm just a
Are you a
simple.
child?
I'm just a simple troll who just searched for random. Yeah, and then I did my first troll. It didn't work because the audio was busted as heck.
Okay, well, welcome. Where are you from?
USA.
Where? Sorry, I'm going to have to let you go. Sorry. Bye-bye.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, am I echoing?
No, you're not. Welcome, lady.
Okay.
I'm just trying to get rid of this other days old. Don't need
Okay.
that.
Finally got this mess figured out. I'm so sorry. Heck, it took over an hour. But when I'm on, there we go. Now, good. I am so glad that I caught you live. Because I've been wanting to talk to you, and I have seen you come in and leave me messages, like on my YouTube videos. And I'll like and give you a heart, but I cannot reply back to you. And I am telling you, Lionel, I promise, I have never blocked you or anything. I don't know what is going on, but it's not just you. There's some of my longtime subs that still send me email, and I can't reply to them either. So I don't know what happened with my channel. I really don't. But I come in, I've watched yours, and I never go watch Rose anymore. But I did see where Richard had a birthday or something, and it was just short, so I watched it, and she was talking about her mascara, and I did write that down, so I got a good tip from her. But yeah, I've been wanting to talk to you because I got a big question for you, and I love what you're talking about today. But I do call you the professor because you know why. It's because you're so learned in everything, and I've learned so much from you. And then you can ask me anything you want to. But I got to ask you this because it's been bugging me, and I don't know who else to ask. But, okay, the moon. What is the planet that's next to the moon? Is that Venus?
Yes.
Okay.
But right now, yes.
Okay. Well, isn't there a planet, too, that we're seeing next to the sun?
Well, we can't see it. It depends. You see, they're going
Yeah.
in. Now you
Go
got
ahead.
me. You know,
Well,
we see it in linear, the way they draw it on a piece of paper. But it's in 3D. We really can't see Mercury that's next to the sun. So we're
well,
the third rock. We're the third rock from the sun, and the moon is not considered a rock.
right. Well, the reason I'm asking is because I'm sure things look different where you're at and where we're at, but there's times, like in early morning when the sun starts coming up, I will see right next to the sun, almost like the moon, a bright star or something that also looks like a planet. And I don't understand what that is and why I'm
Well,
seeing it now. I've never noticed it before.
well, that is supposed to be Venus then. That is supposed
Well,
when the sun comes up, that star disappears. Is that what you're saying?
I guess so. I guess that's what it's got to be because I know when the sun comes up, then of course the light of
Well,
the sun is fading out what's already there anyway. So that's I'm
that
correct
is the
then.
whole story.
That's Venus.
That is the whole story of the 3 days when Venus drops and stops being from the 3 days, your 3 longest days, okay? And then Venus becomes your morning star or your evening star. And the
Okay,
southern
then I'm
hemisphere,
correct.
it becomes our morning star or evening star, or vice versa.
All right. Well, are we just now in this time dispensation starting to see that so clearly, or has it always been there like that and we just haven't
No,
noticed it?
no, you. I think you're seeing a drone.
But it's
You're
just
seeing a drone. I've been noticing the drones since last year this time, and I was getting, everybody was saying, no, you're just high and drunk all the time. I said, well, then all of a sudden they came out on the news. We have these situated military style drones hovering and monitoring everything. So my question is, why is there crime then? Or you're just watching the crime? You know, they are actually watching everything. One night last year, I said, but this definitely not a star. It's hanging too low, and there were many of them. I felt like these were spiders on a web.
well,
That's
I've
how
noticed
low they
that
were.
too. But
So
that
they
one,
try and con us, and they look like a star. But
oh,
if
I
you
agree
get a
with that.
camera that's good enough, you'll zoom in and you'll see there's a green and a red light, port and starboard.
Yeah.
It has to be there. It has to be there. But from the distance, we only see a white light with our naked eye. It's a drone, Sippy. They're all over the show. They say they're military drones. Well, from which government? I want to know. Is it from
Well,
China? I'm sure.
well, that's what I was trying to figure out because that same, okay, what you see with Venus at night with the moon, it's in the same spot when the sun comes up. So I thought, well, it must be Venus. And you say the morning and evening star. And that looks different to me here where I'm at in America than what the drones do. Because you're not crazy. I was watching that too, and I thought, no, he's not crazy because I see the same thing. And I'm like you, I dig into stuff. I don't just listen to what somebody says and go along with it. You know how I am. But when I started
Yeah.
seeing it, I thought the only person I know to talk to is Lionel. And I knew you couldn't come up on mine because you had tried before, and every time you go live, I know the hour difference. And I thought, oh gosh, he's live. I got to get in there. And then I started having so many. It's like something's trying to stand between us, where I could not get to you. And I thought if I had to go boot
I
up the
know.
computer, that's going to take forever because the only laptop here is the one that's messed up where I don't have a screen. My camera don't work on it, but the audio will. I thought, I'm getting in there somehow or another. I was scared to death. You was going to say, man, I got to go to bed. Our time is different. But I had to ask you that question. And also, I wanted to tell you, too, that sometime when you go live, I would like to come up and us talk about some of the stuff that you're talking about with Ra, Lie, Jins and what Ra, Lie, and Jin is, as well as this Jesus, because a lot of people come against me because I'll tell them flat out, I don't think we're talking about the same Jesus, if you want to call him Jesus. And then people don't understand. They get confused and they jump on me all of a sudden. I don't have a chance to explain what I mean by that because I don't claim to be a quote Christian. Even though I'm a big time believer, I know the Christos is in me. And but well, you know what I'm talking about. So I
we
wanted
all
to
we all we all have our own concept of Jesus, I think.
exactly,
It's
and that's all I'm
it's
saying.
only the sheeple that are programmed, that stay programmed every week on a weekly basis
Well,
on the
that's
same track and on the same timeline together.
exactly. But I don't really get a chance to get that far when I'm talking about it because people get so riled up, and they're going to continue. They're just going to get worse. But I think it's good what you're talking about, and I'm glad that Rose is interested in it and might can take some consideration that it's like you can't just stick with what the Bible says. You've got to look outside the Bible and into other books, and then that's where everybody gets all riled up. Oh, no, 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 King James, King James, King James. But I've said it before, and I'll say it again. There's just enough truth in everything to lead you straight into a lie. You've got to have discernment.
There's more coal than diamonds.
Exactly. And if you're not willing to sift through it, I mean, you know,
And
it says
we're
study to
not
show yourself
living under
approved.
the old covenant. We're living under the new covenant. Yes.
Yes, that's
We live
right.
under a new covenant. We live under a brand new covenant. But now, like I was saying, the monsters that we are told about, that we see sometimes, you know, we imagine it more in our minds, only from what we've seen, from movies, from descriptions. And believe me, it's the Christians that can really describe the worst devil there is.
Well,
And
I'm going to agree.
hell is only a concept that is recent in our history, since somebody had a dream called Dante, and he wrote a book about the
Yes.
7 levels of hell.
Yeah.
But there was a place in Israel at the time of Jesus when Jesus spoke of hell. And there's you want to take the correct translations from the Greek and from the Hebrew, because the New
Yeah,
Testament
exactly.
was written in Greek, and they take the translation, they speak of this place which is translated into a hell because it was where they disposed of all the rubbish, and all the people, the scavengers would live around this place. It would be
That
a
was
place of
Gehenna.
hell. Yes,
Was,
yes, yes.
yeah. And hell
It's the name,
translated from the Greek means grave.
the grave.
So
Yes,
you're absolutely correct. But if you say that, they'll automatically categorize you in with
a
Seventh-day
cultist, a
Adventist
cultist.
or Jehovah's Witness.
But we
Yeah.
do it very well. We do it very well. We do the evil very well.
That's why I say,
because
I tell people, if you
because
spend as much
we are the
time looking
scaredest.
for God as you do the devil, you'd be somewhere.
Yeah, that's how this world works. That's what Katt Williams was talking about. I don't know if you know Katt Williams, but he's big on
No.
Netflix, a Black American comedian, and there's the Illuminati, and he didn't take the big jobs. He didn't get the $20 million jobs because he said, "Hell to the nay, nay, nay! I'm not sucking no man's dick."
Well, have you
That's what
ever
you got
heard?
to do.
I didn't know this. I know all this Epstein stuff is coming up again, and Whoopi Goldberg's been brought up. And I thought that Whoopi Goldberg was her name. And a lot of it has to do with the Jews and all this stuff. Well, I was wondering, well, why would her name be brought up? Because of some stuff I know about Epstein. And then I found out that she's not a Goldberg. She changed her name to a Jewish name, and her last name is really Johnson. I thought, oh, okay. Well, then that makes
She's a
sense.
real African American then.
Yeah, yeah.
She wasn't
She's
a
not
Jewish.
Jewish or a Jew
She didn't
name.
have a white Jewish father. Oh,
But a lot of people don't understand the difference in a true Jew and a Jew. It's like me coming to Africa and getting residency there and saying, well, I'm African.
African
Or,
American.
yeah, yeah. But I'm not true African if it's not in my DNA. And people want to
Yeah.
argue if Jesus was a Jew, and Jesus was not a Jew, not according to his bloodline. Even Abraham, the father
Not
of the
a
Jews,
Jew,
he was not a Jew.
not a Jew of today. He was definitely not one of these Jews that we know today. And his skin
No.
was probably much browner, looking more like a Semite, or you know, the Jews of today have the Roman nose. You know, the traditional Roman nose. The Jews have got all those noses. So the Jews infiltrated everywhere, but the original Jews from the Genesis was they called Edomites.
Uh,
Those weren't followed. They only got the Ten Commandments after a couple of 100 years. They didn't have a Ten Commandments. They only got that in the Old Testament, but they were already a nation, a people.
yeah, they were.
And you know, with the shite going on now, you know, Israel was not that big. Israel was north and Judah was south of Jerusalem. I
Yeah,
remember
and
learning this at school.
Judah is actually of
And
Abraham.
Jesus was from Judah.
Yes, the line of
Ah,
Abraham.
ah.
And that's where people get all messed up.
Israel with the son. I see. But you see, Jacob was the grandson of Abraham,
Yes.
because I always thought it was Abraham's son, you know, and then you would think, oh, Abraham didn't have 12 sons. Abraham was the father of many nations. He had many different sons, but you can't look at Abraham. You've got to look at, you know, we go on the childish stories that we were told by semi-educated ministers of the faith.
Yeah. Well, they
who
changed
wanted to do the best that they did.
Yeah, and their parrot mantras is what I call it. They just repeat what they've been taught, and it goes on and on and on like that. But if you don't study, and you've got to get outside the Bible, you got to know how to use the concordance. You've got to go back in and find out, well, what happened between 12 years old and then when Jesus came back? Where was he 17 years? And you'll find out that where he went and why he's so connected to um, India and Buddhism and all this kind of stuff. And you say something like that to somebody that goes to church every day, man, they're ready to call you Beelzebub himself if you say something like that. But that's why I
you're
wanted
not
to talk
allowed.
to you, because I know that you've studied this stuff as well. And lately I've been having a lot of people, trying to ask me questions, but when I answer them and it's an unpopular truth, they immediately are turning, which I expect. It's been that way all my life, but it's really getting, especially since all this stuff in Israel, uh, it's getting where they're ready to just chop your head off if you say, well, but I mean, that's part of the prophecy, is it not? That's just the way it is. But I'm thankful for the knowledge that I have. I want the truth, nothing but the truth, even if I don't like it.
The truth got to come out.
Well, and
Truth
it
got to be
will.
told.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm glad that I got to catch you and that you had the patience to wait on me. And I know that Dot wants to
How's
come
the
up.
weather there? How's the weather there? I'm looking at. I saw the wind was blowing a
It
bit there. Is it
is
raining?
cold. It's
Cold.
cold. And Mississippi right now is the top leading. Well, it was here 3 weeks ago anyway. It's the top leading state in the United States with this flu that's going around. Got a lot of people in the
Oh,
hospital with RSV, and of course they're talking about COVID. Uh, I don't know about all that, but it's bad. There's a lot of people here sick, especially since Thanksgiving, and then we just had the CDC put out that uh, salmonella is in many states. Thankfully, nobody has died from it, but it's bad. It's very bad. So, but a lot of the states they mentioned are up on the, let's see, up on the East Coast, Northeast, with the salmonella. So it's been kind of
you
bad.
know, I was watching this other astrologer. What you call it? Holy hell! This other astrologer in England, and she was talking about the two flus. Of course, the coronavirus, and then of course there's the normal flu. You know, we forgot about the normal flu.
Yeah.
So I'm scared. I'm scared what's gonna do, what's gonna happen. I've been under the weather too. What are the symptoms? Rose asks.
This flu that's going around right now, um, well, I've got two aunts. One is 82, the other one is 76. The first aunt that got sick, she's just now getting over it. And usually you'll get over this flu within 7 days at the most. She had it for 10. This aunt right now is getting sick. And I'm about to go see her. She's, and her symptoms right now, and she's had COVID twice. Her symptoms right now is her head feels, she said, really, really full. She's not having any nausea, but she's just now coming on with it. And the aunt that had it before, she was so weak she couldn't get up. She had absolutely no appetite. She got dehydrated really fast. Of course, it's going to affect the older, people more than the others. But from what I'm hearing, and I've been going around checking on people, I don't know. I must have some type of immunity, and I figure that all the years of nursing probably played a part because when you're around stuff, you build up an immunity. But the strange thing is, me, my brothers, my mother, um, we have never had the flu ever, no strain of it. But I got an injection one year because we were supposed to be having a really, really bad strain we had never heard of. And this is back years ago when I was nursing. And so I took a flu vaccine. I'd never had one. And it made me so sick, I thought I was dying. I've never had one since. Nobody in my family on my mother's right there, that our little group, we never took another one, and I never will. But these symptoms that everybody's talking about that had COVID before says that it's reminding them of how they felt when they first started getting COVID. But I've been around a lot of people with COVID and never got COVID. But I can tell that it's not the same symptoms. The cough that they have doesn't sound the same. It sounds like a bunch of just clotted congestion in the upper part of their chest. It's not down in their lungs. So I really don't know. I don't know if this is RSV and they're just calling it the flu, because I got another friend that's in Little Rock. She just called me yesterday. She got out of the hospital and she said that she honestly thought she was dying. And most of the time, RSV is only going to affect babies or somebody with COPD or elderly people. And she's not elderly, but they diagnosed her with RSV. So I don't know. It ain't going on long enough yet for me to get enough information on it. But right now, I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't trust any of the vaccines. I did a study here about 2 months ago on blood donations because I've been upset that they have not separated vaccinated blood from unvaccinated. I've changed everything on my medical record. So has most of my family. We no longer want to receive blood or plasma, no matter what. Just let us die. That's how I feel about it. And as I was doing this study, I found out, now I may be negative, I'm a universal plasma donor. Come to find out that plasma is in all of our medications. And I'm like, what the hell? How come they don't put that on the ingredients that they use plasma? Now, I can understand somebody receiving blood through intravenous whatever. To me, that's different. But when I'm putting something in my mouth and I'm going to swallow it, just something about that don't seem right to me. I found out that most of the plasma that's donated in the United States is sent to Switzerland. They test it, they get what they need for the medications, and of course we leave enough here that if plasma is needed, we'll have it. But when I found that out, as soon as I get done doing some of the stuff I'm doing right now, I'm going to do a deeper study on it and write a paper on it. But I think that that's something that we should know. That's not something we should be having hid from us. And I did enough research to find out that what I found so far is absolutely true. And I don't trust that, because if they're using plasma to make medicine and they're using vaccinated plasma, then there could be a lot of trouble with that. And that explains to me why when they showed these bodies of people that had died of, quote, COVID, and the strands of clotted blood, it's because it's shutting down plasma, because you've got to have plasma to clot blood, and it was affecting the plasma, and that's why they were
Okay,
dying of heart attacks and all that kind of stuff.
you're gonna get me. You're gonna get me into trouble here again. We're not allowed to talk about this shit. We're not
Well,
allowed
I'm
to
gonna
talk.
tell you, you
We're
can
talking
walk
about
now.
shit. You know.
You
I, I,
can
I
walk now,
was, I was,
but you
I
won't be
was.
able to later.
Have you ever had the runs? Have you ever had the runs? Well, in
Yeah,
December, November to December, 3:30 in the morning. If I didn't get up and run, I had to. I had to wear a nappy. I had to wear pens. The pens. And once it was all out, I was fine for the day because I'd be sitting the whole for 3 hours until 6 o'clock in the morning. Oh, you can't let out a fart. No, 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 no. It's just water. And
yeah,
my system was fine. My system was fine. And then New Year's Eve came and I got drunk and we made a fire. We had a barbecue, as you Americans call it. And
yeah.
the next morning, I was perfectly regular. It was a normal dump, as they would call it, and it was all over. So I would never had the fever or anything, but it was definitely the runs, and I have had tummy flu before, but yes, I have to say hi, Auntie Rose. How are you doing in the middle of our first live with the dame from the south, the southern lady? She's come on to join me. She's come on to wax my streets and put some salt on the ice. Yes. Well, I know what caused that. I don't know it. I think it was some candle magic by somebody. I wouldn't put it past any sorcerer that doesn't like me. There's a few that I've made my name famous. Lionese is across the world now.
I can't see chat or anything, so I didn't know
Oh,
Rose was
okay.
in here.
So,
And
oh,
uh,
okay. Let me
hello,
let
Rose.
me bring you. Yeah. So, but you can see the screen. No, you're not watching the screen. Oh, okay. You're only watching yours. She can't believe it. Rose says, "Oh my God, Sippy, is that you? Holy hail! Holy hail!"
She learned how to say hell, right?
She
Hell.
typed it right there. Hail.
Damn it all
And
to
then she
hell. That's
says,
what I say. Damn it all to hell.
I've been under the weather too. She'd been under the weather. She wanted to know what the symptoms were of the flus, and you were busy describing them very well there. And
Oh,
she wants to know about your brothers. But Sippy got an auntie and a brother. More than I think she's got a few brothers. Yeah, and then
I've
and
got
then
three brothers and a
yeah.
sister, but I don't see two of the brothers, and I don't see my sister. And I got the brother, that I have a lot of trouble with. And come April 1st, I probably won't be seeing him too much either. So, but I got two aunts, and I check on them regularly.
Well, at least family is all we have if we don't have friends. And I've
Yeah.
only got you now. You ladies are my family. That's who.
Well, when you go through
Dot
enough stuff,
underscore. Why don't you come up, Dot and Rose? Come up. Come up. Let's make this a party. I'm going to get into big trouble. It's 11:30 at night, and I'm in the burbs. They have children next door, and I have a voice that travels. I can't believe 1 hour 48, 1 hour 49 minutes. Well done. No, Sippy, while you're here, did you have a good Christmas and New Year? How has the
uh,
last 8 days been? How's the last 8 days? Because they've been crazy on the YouTube
uh,
street.
I'm gonna tell the truth. It sucked, emotionally, but on New Year's Day, it was the most awful day. But when I woke up, the day after New Year's, I woke up completely healed in my emotions. It was the strangest thing, but it wasn't strange because I was in some serious prayer on New Year's Eve, all the way into New Year's Day, all day New Year's. I couldn't do nothing but cry all day New Year's Eve, all day, all night, all day New Year's Day. I didn't sleep. I was just emotionally a wreck. And then when I finally fell asleep that night from exhaustion, I woke up the next day and it's like, I don't know. It's like God just swooped in with angels and took it all away. And I've been fine since and thankful because this has been a 25-year thing for me. It's a lot of stuff from 25 years ago just going on and on and on and on. And all of a sudden, it's like it didn't matter anymore, no matter what happens. So I'm very thankful.
It's
Oh,
you
but I will
purged
tell
it
you
all.
this,
Yes,
Mom.
it's mind over matter. It's faith. It's faith. It's faith.
Well, I
It's a
will tell you
faith
this,
in
though,
something,
Mom.
believing in things
You
that
know,
are not real.
well, your thing when you asked me, a couple of years or 3 years back, no, yeah, a couple of years back, you said, think of your perfect day. And you remember I got aggravated at you because I hit a sore spot because my perfect day was when I gave birth to my healthy son. And I thought, I don't want to think about my perfect day. I'll never have another perfect day. Blah, blah, blah. I got all antsy with you. But then last year, it came to me again, and I realized I could have a perfect day. I could just, do the things me and Justin used to do when he was little, especially around Christmas, because I don't celebrate Christmas the way most people do. And
Yeah.
then this year, I found 2 kids that I was really, really having a hard time. And I decided to put it into practice again. So I went and made Christmas happen for them. And the whole time I could just feel Justin with me, kind of like when I picked up the guitar the first time I decided, okay, I'm going to learn to play. And it was a lot of fun. But still, I was having some things bothering me. But I really enjoyed watching those kids light up. And it felt like it did when I was, with Justin, us going around and playing games, hiding and, dropping off gifts and then hiding and watching them pick them up and stuff. And it was just so much fun. So I enjoyed that part, but I was still going through just so many different emotions. And, but I can't hardly wait now till next year to do it again, to be honest. And it's all because of you. And I want to thank you for that.
Well, thank you, Rose. I mean, so how rude is that? Sippy, bless you, because Rose and I spoke about you, and she said, "How do you still love her?" I said, "I still love her. I still love her,
Well,
but I
I
won't forgive
told
her."
you,
But like you
I
said,
love you.
there's evil, and there's evil, and there's good, and there's bad, and we have to just accept the good and the bad and live it together. And that's what our left arm is joined to our right arm, and we have the heart in the middle, and that's why
Well,
we have
I
to
don't
love.
know any 2 people that, if they get into a serious relationship, whether it's friendship, love, of a romance, or your family or whatever, if you do have the spiritual connection, what God joins together, you can't tear it apart. Even you can't tear yourself apart. That connection is there until God Himself separates it. And it is love, because that's what God is. And you're going to miss them, even if you can't talk again, or there's a time limit or whatever. But I've missed you. I talk about you to some of our, you know who our friends are here in this part,
Yes,
and
yes,
they know I miss you, and we pray for you and wish nothing but the best. And I told you in a comment, you have nothing to fear from me, and I think you know what that means. Everything's good, yet there are some
yes,
serious things going
yes,
on. And
yes.
hopefully that's almost about to wrap up, hopefully in February. And but like I say, when I get serious questions in my mind, you're the first one I think of. I want to go to the professor. I called you that the first time, and I'm not going to stop calling you my professor because there's very few people you can talk to that can get down on the down low of the deep. And it takes somebody that's well studied, and unfortunately, most people don't study. And man, you don't want to let go of people like that. I don't want to let go of you.
Well, Sippy, time is a good healer.
Well, of course it is.
Lucy, Juicy Lucy. We have Lucy in the house, but she doesn't want to connect. She's not
Can you
sure
hear
that-
me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. There we
welcome.
go. I think maybe what's happening. I have a really old computer, and so I'm thinking that I can't update Chrome, and so I'm thinking that my camera isn't going to work. I don't know.
I can hear you
Well, I
good.
love those 3 dots. I'm just
Yeah, I was
glad you're
gonna
not
say.
3-dot Dave.
No, I'm not 3 Dave. I swear, it's just I smoke, so my voice is really low. I promise.
Well, that makes 4 of us.
Is Rose going to come up?
I don't know.
Is
I
she still
offered
here?
her. Rose, are you there? Yes, I think she's here. She's very proud of me. Rose has got the whole family there with her. My voice is getting lower lately too. I tried.
Yeah,
I'm supposed to stop smoking this week with the new moon. The new moon
maybe
is
that's
new
what I
things,
can
new
do because
beginnings. There, you're here.
I'm going to stop too. That's probably a good time to get on it. Maybe we can do it
I
together.
got my vape stick, just like you kept on having your vape. You said, Lionel, get a vape, get the vape. And
Yeah.
it's like a cigarette, but I got one that goes for 1,600 vapes, and I'm still going with it. And I've also learned that you don't have to inhale it. You still get the nicotine through your internal cheeks and your tongue. You don't have
Yeah.
to inhale the vape. Well, I can't
Yeah.
inhale it. I cough. I cough every time.
Well, the fastest place to get anything into your system is under the tongue. It's sublingual.
No,
I
you
can't say
don't
it.
have to make peace. You just have to be sisters.
Who are you talking to?
Auntie Rose, she says, do we have to make peace today? I said, no, you don't have to make peace. Rose asked, do we have to make peace today? And then she said something. She said, I'm sure she will say something that will trigger me and piss me off. Well, Rose, I am submissive. Miss Sippy is a Taurian, and she's ruled by Venus. So she's very loving and she's very talkative. And you must
I'm
grow a
very
skin,
forgiving.
milady. You must grow a skin. I hate 2 ladies so that we won't work too well. No, I have to keep this short. Just come up now, quickly. Just come up because you're proud of me. Just because you, awful older sister. I told you, you just have to treat her like she's your sister. Respect your sister. You don't have to make peace. But I be the peacemaker. You be the, what's that song, Sippy? The peacemaker.
I'm an Aquarius, so I'm above it all. So.
Oh, there's the peacemaker. You're the revolutionary.
I'm kidding.
My mom was an Aquarius, and my boyfriend that I was with longer than any husband is an Aquarius. And I honestly think that I got 2 brothers, it's Aquarius too. And to me, the male Aquariuses are totally different than female Aquarius. I promise you, if I ever meet another man and he tells me he's Aquarius, I'm walking off as soon as he says Aquarius.
I'm the same way about Gemini, generally speaking.
Well,
But Geminis are the worst.
And I've got a son, and he was Gemini, but them 2 were totally different than each other.
Yeah, it really depends on like your other planetary positions, because The reason I think I don't I clap. Well, it's like I have a lot of fun with Geminis, but they drive me up the wall sometimes. And
Yeah,
I
Well,
think
yeah.
a lot of it has to do with my rising being Gemini. So it's like I call them on their bullshit,
yeah.
you know? So
Well, son was born on the 30th of May. My brother was born on the 31st of May. And they're both Gemini, but they couldn't be more different than each other. I don't understand it. I just don't. But they are totally different. But the same thing they do have in common is that they could flip on a dime and be like two different people, just depending on how you approach them.
well, that's the twins. So you
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
I
But if
pro-
Rose wants to come up,
I
I wish she
promise.
would. I'm not going to say anything ugly to Rose.
I
I don't want to
promise.
argue with anybody.
I promise I won't ruin your life, Rose. I find your videos to be quite interesting. I love your dancing videos. I'm so jealous. I'm like, I think I'm quite a bit younger than you. Well, not quite a bit. At least I would say maybe
Yeah,
15 years
you're
younger
a
than
little
you.
younger than Rose and I.
And like the fact that you are so agile on your feet, I'm just like, I wish I could be that again. And so I love watching your dancing videos. Honestly, they make me happy.
Lucy, what's your age generation? You
I'm gonna
Generation
be
X, like me.
I'm like, I guess they call it's because I was born in 1980, so it's like that micro zennial
Oh,
thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah.
But I was
Okay,
raised by
okay.
my dad was technically in the silent generation, the very tail end of it. And then my mom was like a early boomer. So yeah. I didn't
Can you
I
believe it? I've got the three of the strangest combination of ladies on my panel. Ladies and gentlemen,
Congratulations, Lance.
welcome.
I can't believe you did it.
it's not the witches of
I am
Eastwick,
Vlad
it's
the
the
Impaler.
witches of YouTube.
I can't see anything, but I hear Rose's laughter. I know her laugh.
But I
Is
don't
Rose?
know.
Welcome, Team Rose. How you doing? Tell me how you're doing. Rose had
I can't
some
believe I jumped
good
up here. I was up
meal
here, but
today.
you didn't anyway. Who's ._?
I've been in your chat a couple of
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
My
Okay.
name is Lucy.
Lucy.
Yeah, you can
Okay.
call me Lucy. I don't have a problem. I've doxed myself so much I don't really care at this point.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Only somebody who wants to come after you would care.
Well, that's I only care if they're gonna try and come after me and do me harm, and then I care.
Right.
But other than that, I could.
But they're gonna do that anyway, whether you tell them your first name or not. So,
Exactly. So.
But yeah, nice to meet you. I don't know. Are we? We're friends, right? Are we friends? Or are we not friends? We're friends, right?
Who's your friend?
I'm not like I've watched some of your stuff. Like I've been involved in so much like personal like.
They're not
catty
addicted.
trauma.
They're not addicted to you like I am.
No. I actually really a lot of times I'm awake in the middle of the night, and so like I just in Rose's live, so I'll hop on and watch. But like when it starts getting into like people screaming at each other, I'm just like, okay, I've dealt with that in my own life, so it's like I don't really want to deal with it when I'm watching YouTube. Does that make sense?
You have to be Richard to like my screaming, my ranting. For some reason, he doesn't like it when women cry, but he loves it when they scream and yell. So go figure.
Oh my God, I can't. I can't. I've like when I was growing up, I had this cousin that was just a complete bitch to me. I mean, it was just like catty nonsense, and I just don't have any time for it.
I don't scream and yell about things that are catty, but maybe I do. I don't know.
Sometimes, but it almost feels like you get dragged into it. Does that make
Well,
sense?
I mean, I
You know what
get-
it is, Rose.
worked up.
Sorry to interrupt you, Rose. It's because it's your house, it's your stream, it's your channel, and you don't want to be interrupted.
Yeah,
Well,
It's as
that's
simple
true.
as
but
that.
that's okay. I mean, that's,
Yeah, I had to learn that lesson.
you know, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, you know.
Nothing
Yeah, I
wrong
come
with it
from
at
a
all.
family of yelling and screaming, so it's kind of what I am used to, which is not my best strength. When people, when people are really nice and they don't get pissed off and all bitchy, I'm always amazed. I always think, wow, that person must have been raised with a really nice family that never.
Oh my God, no. There was so much yelling in my house. My dad was a yeller and my mom was really quiet. And so now, and my dad passed away like a while ago. So like now I'm with my mom. And then I worked with kids. And I learned that like the easiest way to get kids to shut up and listen to you is actually speak more quietly because then they have to strain to listen to you. So
Mhm.
that and I have heart issues. So I try to like only use my big voice when I have to. So
Mhm.
that's where I'm coming from. But, and it's like I've watched some of the stuff with Ernie and I don't really want to get into it, but like, I don't know how, having worked with children professionally, I don't know, like I'm wholeheartedly behind like, get these motherfuckers that are touching the kids, right?
Mhm.
But at the same time, like, I don't know that I necessarily agree with the way that he goes about doing it. Does that make sense?
Well, I always wonder, what do people expect from Ernie? That they seem to expect something different from him than what he is. And I don't know if people are expecting more from you than you are, but I think that he's a very damaged and traumatized guy.
Right.
If it's, his
Right.
stories are so extreme, and but I take him as he is. I'm not out to prove him right or wrong. The fact that he
Right.
talks about what he talks about bravely, like you take a lot of those quote unquote mean girls from the Nicolina team. And I've been told by Katt, Lynn, that they don't like to talk about it because it upsets them. And that kind of attitude really pisses me off because how do you think those kids are feeling?
Right. Exactly.
So for us to be like big babies, like I can't handle it. It's like, yeah, well, there's 5-year-olds that are literally suffering way worse.
Right.
While we're drinking our coffee and freaking out and smoking our joint, there are kids being raped and beaten and accused, and we need to put on our big girl pants and freaking. So the fact that he talks about it and doesn't hide it under a bush and run from it is why I give him my time.
Right. I caught I think it was yesterday. I think it was yesterday morning.
I did a 6-hour live and he got on the end of it and he was on for a pretty long time. And actually the whole live was taken down. And I was just before I saw Lionel live, I was going to go and repost that section with Ernie, which I found, I was re-listening to it and I was sort of riveted by it. And I thought, wow, I just want to listen to this, but I really should record it and not take up time listening and then listening again while I re-record it, which is annoying because I'm going to do it as a live so it doesn't take up space on my computer. But when you get into a live, of course, then other people are coming in and so it gets complicated,
Right.
But I really want to repost that because he just got into a lot of personal details about his family.
That's what I saw. And as I was listening to that, I was like, oh, well, that makes a lot more sense as to why
he's such a mess.
Why he operates
crazy.
The way he does.
I mean, he's way crazier than, I now that I know even more about his family life and his sicko father, the fact that his father is an assassin, a trained assassin, and he was training the boys to be that way, I have to wonder, I mean, Ernie is deeply, deeply, deeply messed up.
Hang on, guys. I might have to go. The stress I'm dealing with right now is that my dog is bleeding profusely. We have to get to the vet, and my ride just arrived. Wow. It was great talking to you guys. I'd really like to do this
Lucy.
Again.
Thanks, _.
Good to meet you,
Thank
Lucy.
You so much.
It was good to meet you. See you,
Sippy.
Sippy.
Good to meet you.
Okay, I hope you're okay and that your dog is okay.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see what happens today. Okay, see you guys.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye.
It's pretty awful.
Wow.
That's pretty scary when your dog is bleeding. Yeah, I definitely am nervous about getting a pet, You know what I felt like doing today?
Yeah.
Totally random. I actually felt like breaking out my tempering machine and making chocolate like I did for years. And I thought, God, should I make chocolate? You know, should I make like small batches or something? Like, you know what I mean? I didn't.
So you have an actual machine.
Yeah,
Actually
yeah. I have
have
two of
a
them,
machine.
and yeah, it's called a tempering machine. It's a tabletop tempering machine which tempers the chocolate, which heats it, cools it, heats it, cools it, and makes it so that all of the little cells are integrated and stay together when you form it into the mold. And back in the day, the French, you know, you would do that tempering by hand. You'd spread it out on a stone. You'd bring it to a heat, then spread it out on the stone, then reheat, then do all this whole process. And you did it with your hand did it. Then they make a modern machine that does it for you, so you don't have to go through all that work. And then you just it melts it, and then the work is adding whatever, if you're going to add extra ingredients or whatever. But it puts it, and then still the chocolate can bloom even after you bloom it, after you temper it perfectly in the machine. From the machine to the mold, you can screw it up, and then when you put the molded chocolates on a place to harden, you can screw it up. And so it's a lot of work, but I didn't want to go back into like this big production like I was in before, which is it's just too much work. And it's exhausting, and you're spending all this time making chocolate or hiring people to do it, and then you got to deal with people and their payments and all that. And I hate.
Is it better to make it in the winter or the summer? Sorry to interrupt. Is it better to make it in the winter or the summer?
I mean, it's a better winter thing because it helps fight depression when you're around melted chocolate, right? And I do tend to get depressed. I think I'm depressed right now. And so I was like, maybe I should make chocolate, because when I was in love with my stupid ex-husband, and we were happy, and we were being in love and all the lovey-dovey things, that helped my serotonin. And then making the chocolate helped my serotonin. So then when we broke up, of course, it all reversed, and I was a miserable, unhappy biatch again. But anyway, yeah, it was just a weird thought that I thought, God, should I go back to that? Should I make chocolate again? Should I make peanut butter cups? Should I make almond bark? Should I make peppermint patties? Like, I really got into it, but I was thinking, if I make small exclusive batches, instead of trying to mass produce tons of handmade bars and then sell them for as cheaply as I could so they were affordable, there's no money in that for me. It's just a lot of slave labor, and then no financial reward. The reward was just having my own business, and people love the chocolate and making a name for myself and everything. But when it came down to actually, the money, it was really tough. But and then I wanted to do the whole thing in California and try to move and start a new life and, bring myself up. And that whole lawsuit, as you know, back then really brought me, the whole thing came crashing into a lawsuit, me fighting for myself. Anyway, but I just thought it was weird that I even thought about it, because I really thought, I always thought I might bring the chocolate business back one day, because it was a really good product, and I like chocolate, and but anyway, so I just thought it was kind of a weird thought. But Lionel, when did you get over the digestive problem? That sounds awful. That sounds really
Christmas Eve.
Oh my
Christmas,
goodness.
the next Christmas Day, I had normal delivery.
Wow, that's good. That's really.
I lit a candle for you and
Thank you.
me.
Thank you.
And Sippy, and I lit look here for a tree of
Sippy,
life.
oh my
incense.
God. Is she off? Oh my God, did she jump
She's
down?
gone now.
Oh, she went.
She's gone now.
Vlad the Impaler. Tree of Life. Well, I was about to talk to her and she jumped down. Well, I'll be damned. Well, hell. I can't believe that I was on a panel with Sippy. That is absolutely epic. It's honest to God epic.
It is epic.
It is. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
How'd you achieve that? So yeah, Lionel, you so where are you at with Christ and the Christ consciousness and all? And you were saying so many interesting things. on my panel on Richard's birthday, I was really blown away. And I thought, my God, this guy is really educating himself in ways that you didn't used to, I thought. But every time I change timelines, you're a completely different person. Same as Jimmy. Every time I go to his show, he's a completely different person. And you are too. You're a completely different person. So who are you now? Where do you stand with the Christ consciousness and Jesus and all that?
When I was studying more, I downloaded this book. I've got it on this my search engine. It's the second scariest book they call, and I never got through it. It's very difficult reading. It's old-fashioned typing and it's difficult reading.
Wow.
So they say that the grimoires of Solomon, the lesser grimoires, are is the scariest.
Oh,
so
really?
This is about a sage in the 1400s. I think the 1400s. He was like Rasputin, a wizard. He was like Nostradamus. He was a sage. He was a magi, and he rose. He had two sons. One son he rose. He raised up as a Jew and under the religion, and the other son he raised up as an atheist, only under the laws of magic and the left-hand path, basically. And he learned with the
Wait a minute.
powers
What's the left-hand
of magic. The occult, the Gnostic, the occult. What you do. When you do some candle magic, you make some prayer to the universe, or whatever. Now that is there we go. Let's add it back. So I lost it now. So yes, what he said was so important, that if you want to be a magician, you cannot deny your first God, that if you did have a God that you worshipped as a child, that you were raised in worshipping either Allah or Yahweh or Jesus or Buddha or Shakti or Kali, you cannot turn your back on that God, because your powers as a magician are less than. They're not so powerful anymore, because when you are in warfare, when you are in spiritual warfare, you need your original childhood faith, your inner child faith. And I promise you, the last year, I've only used my inner child faith. Oh, she left. Why? You muted, Gold Tree.
I'm muted because the buses and everything are going by, and I was trying to cut down so Rose could hear you better.
There she. There's. She's back. She's back.
Yeah. Hi. Sorry about that. I went to see the chat. When I go in to read the private comments,
I've lost. Yeah, I just saw the private comments now. Yes.
Yeah, when I
yes,
go
that
into
was
the private
Dot.
comments, I can't get out of it without getting out of the stream. Every time I try to go back to just looking at the stream, it kicks me from the show. So that's what happened anyway. So
I didn't know that was
so
how
Sippy
it
came
worked, that you
back.
could go into private chats.
Right.
Yes, so what I was saying is you mustn't get, you don't turn your back on your inner child God if you want to become a powerful magician. Whether I became a powerful magician, I don't think so. I can't say that. But I did use my childhood faith to and it's blind fool's faith to get through what I got through. And what you get through is you have to get through your own mind's sanity. You interrupted me, Rose.
I interrupted you. Well, I want to.
No, I'm joking. I'm
No,
joking.
no.
I'm
What
joking.
you were saying about the lesser keys of Solomon or the grimoires or the lesser, those little bitches, those 72 Goetia demons. Are the 70?
Some of those demons, some of those 72 were like one individual demon was a whole coven of, well, you can't call them a coven, a whole tribe of demons. There'd be like 12 demons in the one demon. Did you know that?
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yes.
So, yeah, if you make a deal with one of those little bitches, you have to follow through, and they will take something. And you really shouldn't do deals with their power, because they will fuck you over as fast as they can blink an eye. They don't give a shit. They
That's
don't
what they
care.
call karma. But now I
Yeah.
wonder, if you don't have a religion, if you raised not knowing of karma or being born
You can
in
believe in
sin.
karma without a religion. You don't need a religion.
Well, this is it. We've been programmed with this bullshit. So does the karma happen because we know it's going to happen? We believe it's going to happen, or does it just happen?
I think it's a law.
Did karma happen to the original humans, you know?
Yeah. I think it's
we
a
just
law of
know.
the universe.
Well,
I think it's
I suppose that comes from the old text from the Indians. Yeah, you're quite right. Yes.
well, I would have been Buddhist if I had to pick one. I would have picked Buddhism.
So that's further east. That's the Indians. They do. It's called what's his name? Hare Krishna.
I learned about
What's his name?
karma very quickly as a child, because I would get repercussion instantly. So that's how I learned. It wasn't lifetimes later. I would instantly get feedback on that was a bad idea, because now you just got punished. So I learned very quickly about karma. So I spent most of my life trying to avoid bad karma. Not always successfully, but successfully some of the time. That doesn't mean you're not taking. You see, when you're trying to fight karma, you have to take horrible things that happen to you and respond to them, not with equal negative power. You have to transmute that in order to resolve the karma, in my opinion. I think, or you just keep playing the game back and forth. I hurt you, you hurt me. I hurt you again, you hurt me again. I hurt you more, you hurt me more. And it just goes on and on and on. Right? But if you want to break that, you can either do offer the other cheek like Jesus did. I'm not sure that works. That might not work. Might work. I don't know. Eye for an eye is obviously karma back and forth. But if you transmute it in a different way, if you take your pain, your emotional pain from the abuse, and instead of just responding back with a plot to revenge that person or avenge yourself, or give them equal or worse pain, which is the normal thing, you have to figure out, how do I respond to this that transmutes my karma? How do I deal with this onslaught, this insult, this abusive behavior without making it worse for me the next time? Maybe this is my karma. I should just take it. Maybe if I take it and respond lovingly, I will then have changed the spell. I'll change the direction of this pattern, maybe. What do we do? Let's figure it out, right? So because my karma is instant, I can navigate pretty quickly whether or not I've made the right decision. Because if your karma is instant, you're going to feel it instantly, right? It's almost better to get karma right away.
So then that's my question. Is dis-ease related to karma? And you just said, yes, you feel it instantly.
I think it is. You know what Barbara Marciniak said? She said that every lifetime, or maybe in this lifetime, we are somehow obligated to feel all the pain of all the other lifetimes in one life. And I thought about that, and I thought, well, I would believe that in my life this time, because I've had so much physical pain that doesn't make sense with my experience. It's like too much pain. That doesn't make it, that I can't explain. It's like, why do I have a stabbing knife in my hip? Why does it feel like there's a knife in my hip? Why does it feel like my back is on fire? Because there's no fire there. There's no knife in my hip. So why do I feel that? Well, if I am reliving all of my experiences in every freaking life I've ever had on this planet, which is a lot of lives, then I'm pretty much fucked. And that's how I felt this whole life. I felt like I was feeling every single, like, say if, Queen Mary, also known as Bloody Mary, the daughter of King Henry VIII, who was really treated like shit, because she was the firstborn daughter. She was the daughter of the Queen, the Spanish queen he married, who had originally married his brother who died, and then he was 10 years older than him. She marries him, gives him a daughter, never gives him a son. Loyal, dutiful queen, loved him. And then he meets Anne Boleyn and fucks over the queen. And the queen's holding on for dear life to her role as queen, which she'd been for many, many years. And her daughter was starting to get treated like shit by a lot of the there was a really big bone to pick with one of the guys, one of the men, one of the bigwig players was really trying to get rid of Mary and take away her rule and her power. Well, Mary had to fight. Mary was really badly abused, and she turned into an angry, vicious monster. And the guy that screwed Mary over for years and years, really fucked her over to where she was so angry and so bitter. She just was full of rage and hate. And I understand how that feels. And this guy later, Mary did become queen, which he tried to prevent for years. He tried to fuck over Mary. Well, she somehow does become queen because the people wanted her to be queen, because the people were horrified with how she had been treated. So she gets to be queen after a really long haul of a lot of abuse, a lot of fighting, a lot of terrible, terrible betrayal toward her. She became an angry old bitch. And then she became in charge of his punishment. And he was sentenced to be roasted or burned at the stake, right? And he was terrified. Now, after all the abuse he gave to her, she was in control of his demise. So he was scared shitless. So she sentences him to either burning at the stake or getting roasted like the Knights Templar French guy on Friday the 13th got roasted. Really horrible, horrible way to die. And it's a slow burn, right? So Mary, so a lot of people tried to talk her out of sentencing that guy to the burning at the stake or roasting. And for 2 years, she made him wait, not knowing her answer. She kept saying, no, I'm going to make him do it. But then she kept putting it off. So for 2 years, I think at least, he was hoping that she would change her mind and get him out of that horrible fate. But she did make him finally burn. But then it's like, what's her karma? Now, his karma was burning at the stake, but is her karma making him burn? And then does she have to burn for doing that to him, or not? Like, does it go back and forth like that? So, or does she feel the pain of burning at the stake, whether she burns at the stake or not? Does she feel it in her body? I don't know, but it made me wonder, because I felt like my body was on fire. Now, I have since learned, now that there's all this talk about narcissism and bipolar and borderline personality and all this shit, right? So now they're saying that childhood trauma can cause autoimmune disease or, inflammation in the body. Well, I was screamed at my whole life. So those loud voices, sound creates. My two brothers would rage at me. Their voices filled with hostility, that hostile sound goes right through your porous body and can cause you pain. I believe that now. And they're saying
sound is everything.
Yeah. And narcissistic abuse can cause autoimmune disease, which is basically your body inflamed, on fire, having an inflammation episodes or chronic inflammation, right? So, and when the way my brother screamed at me repeatedly, his loud voice literally seared through my DNA. I feel like he screamed at me with fire, the way a dragon breathes fire, and then the fire of the dragon would burn or singe whatever it touched, right? So I feel like that fiery breath from my brother's loud screaming, huge, loud voice, bigger than mine, and mine is huge. I can do the same thing. I feel like he changed my DNA, and he literally, I can heal you or kill you with my voice. It's really awful. It's a power you have to really learn to control, or people will. I'm running from my brother. People will run from me, right? If I have the voice that could singe them or burn them, I have to be careful, right? So he really singed me. I feel like he he changed me, and he burned what was left of my old self that was attached to that family in that role, as it were. And I completely changed. He doesn't realize it, but I have completely changed from what I was, because he did destroy me. He destroyed what I was, but he didn't kill me. I'm still alive. I just had to rebuild myself 100%, starting from scratch. And that's why I almost don't even want to go back to any of my old life. You know, when I go on Instagram, because I never go on it, and I'm like, why don't I ever go on it? Well, I went on it. Well, all of my old life is there. All of my old friends, my sisters-in-laws from the past, everybody from my old life is on Instagram, and I'm like, I don't want to look at these. I don't want to look at this. I don't want to see any of these people. I don't want to see any of my past. I just don't want to right now. I just can't bear it for some reason, you know? So on my channel now, it's really all these new people. And I almost feel more comfortable with all the new people. You know, I don't even want to go back to my old self. I don't even want to deal with what that was, because I don't even feel the same now. My brother burned me, destroyed me, but he also might have freed me. Maybe he freed me in a good way. I don't know. There's been a lot of like psychic videos that I've seen that's come into my feed since then that are like, the abuse was to your favor. You now are free to get out of something that was bad. Run, walk away, do not go back. Every video was like, you've been blessed. Actually, the abuse freed you. Be glad. And I just kept getting that message over and over and over again, which helped me. Whether it was true or not, it was comforting. It's like, and then I kept receiving it, saying, look, just tell me what I need to know. Don't lie to me. You know, whatever universe, give me answers. Just tell me the fucking truth, you know? So it was always that. Yes, you needed to get out of that. And so I'm just going with that, you know, right or wrong. Because it's like, should I go back and try to heal this with my family? Should I go back to these roles? But, you know, I realized they will never change. That's when I really felt free. I thought, oh my God, I am literally wasting my breath trying to talk to these people and express myself and get them to understand me. I can't do it. It is a failed effort. It ain't gonna happen. I'm not doing it anymore. And I actually could walk away from especially my older sister, the one that our darling Sippy reminds me of, the Taurus, you know? That's why Sippy would trigger me so bad.
Well, that's what happened with me. That's why I don't talk to my two brothers. I don't talk to my sister. I haven't in 10 years. And I think you're exactly right, because I feel that I have been desensitized by all of this narcissistic behavior in the family, friend. It don't matter. Blood don't matter to me anymore.
Right.
I don't have any desire to go back, try to fix nothing, because I'm not the one that messed it up.
Right.
I feel no guilt. I feel no shame. I don't feel the burden of it anymore. It's kind of like I was telling Lionel before you came in. My New Year's Eve and my New Year's Day was nothing but crying all day, all night, New Year's, all day, New Year's Day. And then I was exhausted. And when I went to sleep and I woke up the next day, it was like it was all purged out and nothing. It's like, okay, it's gone.
Wow.
And I know that this brother that I'm so close to right now, I'm oldest. He was born next. And, but I know come April the 1st, I've already gave him a date that he's got to get his stuff in order, because if I have to, I'm going to be cutting him off. But narcissism will totally make you sick, and you're right. It will destroy your immunity. It destroys your mind. It takes away who you are inside, and you have to rebuild yourself and find yourself all over again.
Yep.
And the thing about Instagram, I understand that too. I hate Facebook. Everybody was there, and I'm not the same person. I am totally, completely different. And I think that has to come through trauma healing. And then all of a sudden you click and you realize, well, wait a minute. I've been dealing with sick people because they made me sick. And that was my sick self dealing with sick. I'm not sick anymore. I'm healed. So why would I want to even go back? And it's like getting the flu. Why would you go back around somebody with the flu when you've had the flu and you know how sick you can get? So
Right.
I understand exactly where you're coming from, Rose, and I'm glad that you found that healing And as far as your chocolate, and you said you feel like you may be getting depressed, I think that's a great idea. Um, I like making crafts. And I've learned now that when I get my mind on something and can't get it off, I go and do some type of little craft because it helps. And I've also learned too that there's no way your body, your mind, or your brain rather, can think of numbers and anything else at the same time. So I got addicted to Sudoku or whatever you
Oh,
said.
wow. Right.
And so I'll pick up a puzzle. It's got numbers in it, and I'll start doing it because one side of your brain can only do numbers. You cannot be creative with the other side. You can't be thinking about anything else with numbers. And that's helped me a lot,
Hmm.
a whole lot. So it might be something you want to look into. But I think that what you just said is a testimony. And you might want to even talk about that on your channel because there's so many people that need to hear it. And it's something I'm about to start talking about on mine now that I can get back to my channel.
Hmm.
Um,
What
it's
happened
very
to your
important.
channel? Well, I do want to talk about it. I want to write about it in my book, and I want to, it's what my book's going to be about. I've got, yeah, I'm going to write about it. I'm going to talk about it. I have been talking
And I
about
think
it, I
it's
think. I don't
important.
know.
Once you go through that dark night of the soul, you get into an abyss. And it's really true that once the darkest place you can get, the brightest light you'll see is the dimmest one. And that is the brightest light
Sippy,
because you think, oh, I'm at the bottom, I'm in the dark, I can't see anything.
your voice is
Okay,
breaking.
am I breaking up now?
Yeah.
Okay, hang on. It's because a phone call tried to come in.
So that's your house, Sippy?
This is one that I come to when I want to get away from my lake house because I'm letting my brother stay there right now, and it's too volatile. We have already tied up physically 4 times.
Wow.
So
Why are you letting him stay at your house?
because he has nowhere to go right now, and he has a court case coming up in March that's going to determine whether or not he's on house arrest, going to prison, or it's all wiped clean.
Oh my God.
So I'm giving him till March, and I told him either way his court goes in March, come April 1st, he's got to get out away from me.
Oh boy, Sippy.
It's so bad. And him being 2 years younger than me, we physically fought until I was 27 and he was 25. And the only reason it stopped is because my mom was there one day and we both go into blind rage and she just happened to step in the middle of us. So we stopped. But he got older, and here about 3 years ago, he just started acting different and he attacked me out of the blue.
Wow.
And I had no idea it was even coming. And so the next time he attacks me, I hurt him pretty bad, actually bad, because he has a bad neck. He has a cadaver bone and a plate in his neck. And I wasn't thinking. And I don't fight like most people do. I've been trained with police, and we have to take training in nursing to know how to not hurt anybody if they come at us and all that stuff. And I just went into defense mode and went for a place I shouldn't have, which was his neck, just to stop him real quick. And so then he attacked me again, and I hurt him again. I didn't mean to. And then the last time we fought, we hurt each other really bad. So now, yesterday was his first day. Well, they just tried to call me. No, it was today. Today is his first day. He's having to have rehab done on his neck. And they're going to set him up to do some type of injection into the neck. It's not a nerve block. They can't do that anymore. We don't know if it's going to work, but there's a possibility that he may end up eventually slowly being paralyzed. And I don't know, but that's been stressing me out a lot. But I'm not letting myself go into a guilt trip because he knew better. And it hurt me more. I fought him harder than I would anybody else because he is my brother. I'm thinking, I've had men put their hands on me before, but for my own brother to do it, I just went into, okay, I'm not having no mercy on you.
So what did you do did you hit him back, or did you guys get into a physical brawl, you're saying?
We got into a physical fight, but I didn't hit him. I know a little bit of martial arts, and I've been training off and on since I was 15. but he didn't know some things that I do know. And so I just took it quick. And as big as he is and as strong as he is, I did something that I normally wouldn't do, but I knew I had to do something quick. Because if he ever got his hands on me, he's so freaking strong. When he attacked me the first time, he got me by my wrist and almost separated my wrist joints inside the middle part of your wrist.
Yeah.
So I know not to let him get his hands on me, because then I'm out.
So what did you do? Did you flip him over or something, or what? What'd you do?
There's a certain jiu-jitsu thing that you can do to the pressure point and just put anybody down. And when I did, he went flying backwards, and I went into shock, and he did too, because I realized that I had went for the throat. And he just looked at me, and he said, "I can't believe you touched my throat." And I was standing there, I couldn't even hardly talk. I said, I can't believe I did either."
Wow.
And so I helped him up. He didn't touch
Wow.
me for a long time. And then the next time he came at me in a sneaky way again, I was sitting down, not ready for it. But thankfully, I had something next to me, and I smacked him with it. Then I jumped up and come at me again. So I did the same maneuver, not thinking. This time, when he went back, thankfully, he fell into the recliner. But he had to sit there for a minute, and he couldn't move. And I thought, oh gosh, I just paralyzed him.
Oh my God.
He got to where he can move, and I thought, okay, that's it. He won't do that again. But then the next time he tricked me. He has a little camper that I'm letting him stay in, and he wanted me to come in and sit and talk to him. So we sat down, in a little camper, you got just a little table and little side thing to sit on. He was on one side, I was on the other. And he wanted to play that game, like you do as a kid. You put your hands out and you try to hit, slap each other's hands and pull them back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I thought that's all we were doing. He grabbed my wrist, and I said, "What are you doing?"
Oh shit.
And he just looked at me, and he said, "I want to tell you something." He said, "Don't you ever think that you can beat me." He's always been in competition with me on everything. I said, "Well, I don't." I said, "But you need to let go of my wrist." And he just kept squeezing them, and I knew right then, okay, we're fixing to have trouble.
Uh-oh.
And I just told him, I said, "I'm going to tell you one time, and I'm only going to tell you one time, let go of my wrist." And then he started squeezing them real tight. So I got really long legs. I kicked as hard as I could, and I brought that table up on him. I tore it completely off the thing. I guess it was adrenaline of fear.
Oh.
And I threw it up on him, but as I was going out, he caught me, and I went down. And we just tied up. I don't even remember how I got out of the camper, and I didn't talk to him for about a week, and he called me, and he didn't have any memory of what had happened. And I noticed he'd been repeating himself a lot.
Mm.
And so anyway,
You're
that's
breaking.
when we realized we were both hurt, because I had, yeah, he just tried to call again. I'm blocking him.
So what was your injury? What was your injury?
Well, the right side of my face was all black and blue. I was bruised up all up and down my ribs. Big bruise on the arm. And I don't know what I did. I guess when I did the table, it cut his leg real bad. His nose was almost broke. I don't remember what else, but at least his neck didn't get hurt. But then when I talked to him the next week, and other people have been coming to me and asking me if I noticed a change in him, that they had noticed a change. He was repeating himself and forgetting things. So I got power of attorney over his medical, and
Oh God.
so he's getting brain scans, MRIs, and all that stuff now. We found out about his neck, and there's nothing they can do if this injection ain't going to work. And
What's
they're
with
looking at
it?
his brain,
What's
because
wrong
when he was 15, he was on a motorcycle and he hit a semi truck head on. Thankfully, neither one of them was going real fast, but it hurt him bad. He's in the hospital for a while. And he was so young that they didn't want to try to touch nothing. But they said that when he got older, to watch him, because the frontal lobe of his brain, the way he hit, the cranial part, there's a bone in there that it might start pressing on the frontal lobe when he got older to watch him, and then they'd have to look at it again. Well, he ain't never had any trouble, as far as I know. But the way he's acting right now, it seems to be frontal lobe problem. He keeps he'll call me back to back to back like he's doing right now when I don't answer. But anyway, that's why my voice keeps going in and out.
Maybe you should answer it.
No, I'm not answering it because he's probably drinking. When he does that, he's drinking instead of waiting on me to call him back. If it was really important, he would have already called somebody else and had
Well,
them
the
to call me.
booze definitely isn't helping his brain problem.
No, and he's been an alcoholic all his life.
Oh.
So that's what I've been dealing with him. And I had to call the police not long ago out there, and I don't like calling police. I usually handle stuff myself. But I had to just to let him know I'm serious. I'm not going to play with you. You got court coming up, and I called a police officer that I knew personally so they wouldn't arrest him.
Oh my
To let
God.
him know, if I call him out here again, you're going to jail. It's going to screw up your court case, and I've been working on it a year to try to keep you out of prison. So
What's his crime that he might go to prison for?
He has been in prison before for DUI, and he's not supposed to own a firearm. But then he was cleared and was told, yes, you can own a firearm. So he had one, and he got arrested for it. And then the charges were dropped in one county, and they told him, no, we made a mistake. We're sorry. We're dropping this. So they gave him back. Then he got arrested in another county. They saw, yeah, you're clear. We're sorry. Here's your firearms back. Well, then another county got him, but they won't drop the charges. They're saying, no, you're not supposed to have one. Well, then I went and did some research, and I talked with firearms, tobacco, and alcohol people, and I got it straight on can he or can he not. And so I found out, no, he cannot. But they were willing to not press any kind of charges against him and to try to work with the court to make them understand that he had been told several times he could. It wasn't his fault. So we got to go to court to see if they're going to accept, what they're saying and just drop the whole thing because he knows for a fact now he cannot. So we're just hoping for mercy of the court. But if they want to, they can press it and send him right back to prison. But if they do, he's not going to make it this time. Now, he was tough as hell when he went before. Didn't worry about him. But we're just hoping they'll take all this into consideration, and also my past with law enforcement and all this kind of stuff, and also some other things, and just drop it and let it go, and hopefully
so why
he'll
is he not allowed to have a firearm?
Because if you have a felony, and DUI is a felony, you're not supposed to be able to possess a firearm. I don't care what the felony is. But then they made it look like DUI was not going to count anymore. You could have a firearm if you had a DUI. But according to the agent I talked to, you cannot. And that's what I'm going by. I don't care what these other cops say. I'm going by what they say. That's federal. So I told him, I said, this is the way it's going to be. And I'm going to go to court, and I'm going to stand with your lawyer and make sure she does stuff right. And it's just going to be what it's going to be. But either way it goes, you're not getting a firearm. And he said, well, I don't want one. If this is the way it's going to be, I'll go with what they say. I would have never bought one in the first place. And I believe him. I know he wouldn't have.
So why does he have one if he's not supposed to have one?
Because he thought that he could. And my brother's a hunter, and he's a fisherman.
Okay.
So he always had, his guns for hunting. We do a lot of hunting in the South. And that's what he got him with. And so I was confused. He was confused. The lawyers were confused. The two police in the other two counties got confused because he got caught again. It's like, what is going on? But the federal
his real crime is driving drunk.
Yeah, but he don't do that anymore. Now he won't drink and drive anymore, but he still drinks. He'll get in his camper and drink, and that's another thing that made me mad, because when I told him he could bring the camper, that he could not drink on my property, and he don't do what I tell him to do. And now that he's attacked me 4 times, that's not going to happen because to me, you talk about your trauma. You know, I have trauma too because he acts a lot like my father, and my father
Afraid for
died
your life, to be honest.
when I was
The two of you
22 years old. Huh?
did what? When you were 22, he did what?
My father ended up dying when I was 22 because it was going to be either me or my youngest brother was going to end up having to kill him, and I knew that.
Wow.
And my brother ended up having to do it when he was 15.
Really? How did he do it?
He shot him. My dad was coming after him. He'd already took knives away from him. He was drunk, and this had not the first time he'd had to do that. My dad shot at me when I was 15. The first time he'd ever shot at one of us, and then he shot at my brother. And then that's when I went to my dad. I was younger then, and I told him that if he ever did that again, I was going to take him out because my dad was a police hero, and the police would not protect us because my dad could do no wrong.
Oh, wow.
And so when I was 22, my brother was 15, and he took my brother away, and because he's my half brother, and his mom had died, and he took him to Illinois, back to where they had come from, and he did it at a very. My dad was a narcissist because this is how they work. He knew that I was high risk pregnancy and I couldn't do anything, and I was about to give birth to my son. I was sick, and he took him to Illinois, and they weren't there anytime till he got real bad drunk, and he tried to hurt my brother again. So my brother ran to his room and locked the door, and my dad was shooting at him, and he took the lock off the door. And when he went in, my brother didn't know this at the time. He thought he just had one weapon, but it turned out my dad had a 38 in one hand, which is what he shot at me with, and he also had a 22. And when he went in on my brother stood there with a shotgun, and he said my dad just laughed at him. He said, "You ain't got the guts," and he raised a gun up, fixing to shoot him, and my brother shot him.
Oh, my God.
You see, my brother is acting a whole lot like my dad over these last, I'd say, 5 years.
Mm.
And I'm afraid that history will repeat itself.
Mm-hmm.
So
Very
that's
scary.
another reason I'm fixing to get him away from me.
Right.
And I still feel guilt to this day that I didn't just go ahead and do what I needed to with my dad because I knew it was going to be me or that youngest brother.
Wow.
We were the two he liked to come at the
Wow.
most.
You and
The
your
other
brother.
two brothers didn't go around him a whole lot. This brother and the middle brother didn't go around him as much as me and the younger brother were around my dad.
Mm-hmm. So he was a big police officer?
No, but he was a police hero because he and 2 of my cousins were in Chicago, and they saw gang members jumping a black police officer. They were about to kill him. So they ran in and helped the police officer. But as they ran in, other gang members came out. And so the 2 cousins ran. They thought my dad was with them, but he wasn't. So when they went back, they discovered that he had been hit in the head. They found out with a car tool, and he coded, like I think they said 5 times during surgery. And he ended up with a metal plate in his head, and he had seizures real bad. He was on 2 different seizure medications, barbital and dilantin. But my dad liked to drink. So when he would mix alcohol and the seizure medications together, he was crazy. Just totally. And he was mean even before he got hurt. But it made him worse. And so he was from Mississippi, and he had to come back to Mississippi. His mama was a nurse. My whole family on that side is nurses or nurse practitioners. And he came here to die, but he didn't. He got better. And when he got better, you couldn't even tell nothing was wrong with him when you looked at him or when you was talking to him at certain times. But he was not better. He got worse. He was mean. He'd trip out of his drinking. And there was nothing I could do until I got to be 21 because his mama was scared of him. But he always would try to threaten us and say, if anybody ever puts me away, I'll kill you when I get out. And we all believed him. But I just really didn't care. And he knew that after I had my son or my baby, that eventually I was going to have him committed.
Wow.
So I think that's why he took off with my brother. And so that's what happened. But I feel guilty today because I could see all this coming to be, because we'd already called the police too many times. And when he shot at my brother the last time, the police came out. Now, this is how my dad was. He told my brother to go out and make sure the car doors were locked. When he went out there, then my dad came out and started shooting at him. Well, my brother ran off and called me, and I come got him. He told me what happened, and I went to the police. They knew us all. They came out, and my dad comes outside and says, well, I didn't mean to do that. I thought somebody was breaking into the car. Oh, I went off. And they told him, see, they didn't even let him come up to the police station. This chief of police would let him come up there with a bottle of whiskey and sit and talk with them all night long and then take him back home. So they just told him, they called his name and said, now you just had too much to drink. You need to go on back in the house and go to bed. They never took his weapons from him.
Mm.
He should have never had a weapon to begin with. So I knew right then, yep, it's going to be up to me.
God, your family sounds like Ernie Shell's family.
Oh, it was bad. It was very bad.
Lionel,
And,
you said you have to leave soon. What are you? Why?
oh,
He wrote, my favorite ladies. I have to end the live in a few minutes. Sorry. So I don't know if he means like, we're holding him up. Are we holding him up or
yeah,
what's going
yeah,
on?
I've been listening, and I'm so enthralled that I have the two of you together, and we're talking big stuff here. So
yeah,
you're
I
free
am
to
too.
carry on. You are free to carry on.
Oh, are you going to go do something else while Sippy tells her?
No, it's 1:30. It's 1:30 in the morning here. No, well, 12:30 in the morning
So
here.
are you saying, do you want to leave the live on, darling, and let Sippy continue telling her story, or do you need to get off? Which one is it, the love? What
No,
you
I
want to
think
do?
I must get off because the dogs also think the dogs think I'm on drugs. Everybody's going to say I'm on drugs again. So,
Wow.
Well, I've
become an old man in an old age home.
Oh no. Hey, but I do want to ask you, Lionel, before we leave, you said that you're having to wear a belt and about the hernia. Are you okay?
Yeah, I've got a hernia belt on.
A hernia belt. Oh my God, get the castor oil. Get the castor oil and put it on your liver, or put it on your belly, in your belly button. Rub it on your belly, and then wear one of those wraps, or just take an old t-shirt and wrap it around and hold the castor oil in, and I bet you it will help you. It goes deep into the muscles.
Yeah, just
I have a very good
if you put it in your belly
nurse
button,
friend.
because too much of it can make you feel nauseated.
I know, just a little drop. You start small. You start small.
I would just put it on a Q-tip and rub it around to see how it's going to make you feel, because it will detox you and it can make you feel sick if you do it in the belly button, because that's where your nerve endings are. But it will help you. You can rub it all over your stomach.
I've been putting it in a drop in my belly button at night before I go to bed. I don't
Can you see my picture?
But I mean, I'm exhausted, so I don't even know what the fuck. Yeah, I see the picture on your thing. I don't know why I don't have a picture. I think that's weird. Why doesn't my picture show up?
No, the picture on my.
Oh.
Yeah, that is really about. So they're going to do surgery.
Hopefully, keyhole surgery. But it's government. It's government. Oh, let me take this off. It's government, so you have to wait in the queue. So this will be my second or third clinic appointment, but generally it's the same surgeons in the government hospitals as in the private hospitals here. So
that's upsetting.
You just have to wait your turn, unless there's an emergency, which I hope, because the emergency is if you twist your colon.
Right.
because it's basically falling into the scrotum when you stand up.
What caused that, Lionel? Why do you have a hernia?
Well, it was the dark night of my soul.
Yeah.
When the whole world went against me, and it can only be military. It was the military. It was the CIA. I don't know what it was, but maybe it was a wicked, divine intervention on my drug taking. And yes, and they sent me on a wild goose chase, and I was under voodoo control. MK ultra'd me
my God.
for 48 hours. I was under possession. I was possessed, and
Really?
I was seeing. There was writing on the walls, writing in the curtains, in the drapes, in the windows.
Wow.
Everybody went mad around me. I was being controlled by voices in my head, and I landed up inside the water tower.
Oh my
I finished up hiding inside the water tower, and now this huge water tower has a lid like a portal that you have to open when you come out of it, and it wouldn't open.
God.
And I used all the strength in me to push this portal lid open because there was like a vacuum on it, and I think that's when it popped out.
Oh my God, Lionel. What drug did you take?
Oh, the usual Whitey Street drug. We're not allowed to say drugs.
Oh
We say
God.
derugs. Derugs.
Wait, what's it
Derugs.
called?
He said not going to say that. We're going to say Derugs.
Derugs.
Oh, Derugs. Oh my God.
Derugs.
So you did.
Derugs.
Oh my God, Lionel, you took the wrong drug at the wrong time, and a bunch of demons came after you. You got inhabited by a demon.
Oh yeah.
And then you ended up in a frigging water tower, trapped with a door that wouldn't open, and then you had to open it, and that's how you pulled that muscle and got a hernia. Oh my God, Lionel! What what night was this? What night was this? Christmas Eve, or what was this?
No, it was the 25th of September, 2022.
Oh my! Oh wow! So that was a while ago.
Yes. I
Well,
only started going to the clinic this last year, 23.
Oh my
It
goodness!
just gets worse
Lionel.
and worse and worse. I got
Oh my
this. I got this
God.
belt today.
You've got to heal this on your own. You can do it.
No, it's torn. It's the
no,
internal
yeah,
muscles
you're
have torn.
working
They put
out
a
You've been
mesh
living like
there.
that for over a year.
Yeah.
So when are you
That's
supposed to get the
government
surgery?
hospital.
Oh my God, Lionel, I'm so
Well,
sorry.
hopefully soon. I'm going on the 25th for another appointment.
Just make
Okay.
sure you don't pick up nothing you don't have to, because this happened to my grandfather as well.
Yeah.
And I've dealt with many hernia patients that it was too late, and once it goes into the scrotum, just don't pick up nothing. And I'm glad you got the belt,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
and I'll be
No,
praying
well,
for you.
it's bless you. Thank you very much for that. Thank
So
you. I
have you
really
been
appreciate it.
in pain all this time, or how have you dealt with the pain of it? Is it painful?
I've learned that I have got a high pain threshold, but eventually the dis-ease takes its toll. And look, when it gets too much, I have to lie flat. I
Right.
lie flat, and then I push it. I go in circles, and I push the intestine
You know,
back into my
hernias
body.
are very common and in around here. Like my youngest daughter's boyfriend's father had a hernia operation. A machine did it. It was machine done.
Yes, yes.
Is that how yours is
Keyhole
going to go?
surgery?
Yeah.
Hopefully, then they go through your vein. Yes,
Oh my God.
yes.
I told the guy who took my appendix out, I said, I have a really sensitive belly button. If you touch it, my body will flip. My body will freak out. And he goes, well, it's a good thing you told
You're
me that.
androgynous then.
So he went, instead of going through my belly button, which is what he was planning to do, because that's what they always do, I guess. They pull it out through your belly button, which is so gross. But he went above my belly button, and he went like an inch above, and he went in that way. He didn't go through my belly button because I would have leapt to the ceiling.
Oh, through the
spontaneously.
belly button.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah, that's how they
That's
take
where
out.
all the nerve endings are. I can understand
Oh.
that. Do you have a innie or a outie belly button,
I
Rose?
mean, I've always had
I
a
got it.
weird thing.
Yeah.
It has a sideways smiley face. It's not really
Okay.
out or in. It's
Yeah,
kind of
I know
anyway.
what you're talking about.
I used to have weird. I mean, my third child, it popped out, which it had never done before, and I was really sensitive about it. Right, and because it bothered. It was like all of a sudden I had an outie, and I'd never had an outie. So it was a different, and it was a different father. So it was a different mold, a different DNA.
Yeah.
So, and I was older. I was 39. So my stomach was way out, and she was a big baby, and her shoulders were huge. And it was like she was lying flat out with her, and just reclining. So my stomach was really far out. Not to mention I had 2 kids before then. So, she was huge. And that was honestly my most normal pregnancy, where the least disasters happened, or the least scary stuff. But it was the longest as well, the longest, labor. But the more normal, where you progress slowly. The other 2 were like, bam, you're in labor, bitch, for 12 hours. Or with my son, it was longer than that, actually. But with my youngest, it was like, and I kind of was like, why don't I ever get the normal, slow, you have a contraction a little bit, then a little bit later you didn't do, and then you slowly work your way into it, as opposed to this bam, and and then I even got to go home and relax. Like, it was all fine. The cord wasn't wrapped around her neck like with the other 2. Her heart rate wasn't slowing down with every contraction at the end like the other 2, honest to God, I can't believe us women even go through that process at all. It's literally, it is so unbelievable how we bring another human being into this world. It's hard to believe it happens as regularly as it does. It's a feat. It's not something you just do. It takes 9 solid months to bring that kid to the point where they're supposed to come out naturally. I mean, it's just, the whole thing is so unbelievable. It's really intense to grow a being inside you from an eensy beensy little cell that slowly but steadily multiplies every day, every second of every day. It's constantly getting bigger and bigger and bigger and more formed, and all these things. Like a seed turns into a tree, the seed turns into organs and lungs and feet and hands and eyes and a head. It's just unbelievable. And you're sitting there, you're like the flower where the seeds grow inside you, and you're like growing something inside you. It is so unbelievable. And then when you nurse the baby, it's even more unbelievable, because you're like, oh my God, I feed this thing myself. I don't need to go to the doctor. I don't need to go to the pharmacy or the store. I don't need to go buy something. I have it all within my own body, on call.
Yeah.
And not only that, I'm automatically creating every immunity the baby needs on call. That is incredible. And that's truth. And that's biology. That's magic, right? So that's why I said I had magical boobs, because I was producing food for my baby out of just magically in front of my heart, right where my arms are. So it's easy to hold her, and boom, all this food is coming out of me. And mother's milk that cures every cut, fixes every, nourishes my baby to the highest perfection, is on demand. Once you get it figured out, it's on demand. At first you got to get the baby to latch. You gotta be due. Your boobs get huge at first. Remember that, how they swell, and you're like, ouch. And then they got to calm all that down, and you're in the shower, and your milk spraying out all the time before your body regulates, for the first months. And then I was just like, what the heck? I am an amazing being. I was like, I am incredible. The fact that I can do this, you know, I'm like, I friggin' rock. I'm a goddess beyond. I lived, I survived, I did it. And not only that, I feed my baby and I don't have to pay $1. It's all free. It's fucking free. I'm like, I'm the most amazing person in the world. I'm a queen. I earned it. You know, I mean, I really felt like I was the most incredible. You feel a lot of sense of, oh my effing God, I'm amazing after you have a baby and it comes out fine, you know, and it all went well in the end, you know. It's a powerful feeling, you know, you feel like you're the most greatest. I felt, and oh God, it changed everything for me because and also it made me understand my body and it made me understand why I had a body the way I had it. And it made me understand why I had these boobs that were always, you know, a little too active, too energetic, too big, too painful, too lopsided, too heavy, too this, too that, whatever. Got a lot of attention. I mean, they were nice, I guess, but they hurt me. They were no fun for me to have. And they always had problems. I was toxic. You know, like all the extra heavy metals and shit that's in the shite was floating through every bit of plasma, which are plenty are in my boobs and my tits, as they say, you know.
I got in my boobies.
You know, I didn't have the small, cute, perky ones. I always had the big, heavy flopsters. So I was always trying to hold them in, and they would only get smaller if I lost a lot of weight and was working out a lot and was doing a lot of physical activity. And then I was in shape. Then they look fine. But I've always had too heavy, too hot, too burning, something going on. And now they're the best they've ever been as far as all that goes. I don't have all those same problems. I have to watch my weight. My weight goes right to my boobs instantly.
Well, I'm right the opposite. Everything's in my butt, and I never had any boobs. But when I got pregnant and they started getting big, I realized then, oh no, I don't want big boobs. This hurts.
Yeah.
And I would rather have small boobs than to never see my feet again. That's what I said.
Right, exactly. Big boobs they're a
boobs.
burden. They're a huge burden. And magical boobs aren't magical because they're fun to have. They're magical because they feed your baby.
Yeah, exactly.
And I figured that out, and I knew I could. And I knew I could nurse. I just need to. It was like I activated their purpose, their DNA, their genetics, their use, their usefulness, their magic. I activated it. How? By having a baby. And then all of a sudden, everything is working the way a mammal female is supposed to work. And I'm going for the ride. And I did not know what that felt like till I felt it. So there's no way a little a boy can say, I feel like a woman. A woman doesn't feel like a woman until she's had a baby. Let's face it.
Well, you know,
really,
they want to say that all this stuff, but no, it's like you said a while ago, biology is biology.
That's all I do.
You cannot change biology.
That's
so
right.
That's true. Now, I respect anybody that is over the age of 25 and their brain is fully formed. Whatever you want to do, your path is your path. But I'll never play along with how they're wanting to normalize everything and try to change biology. I can't do that. I've got too much experience in nursing. I've studied too much, and I'm not going to feed. I'm not going to do that. But I will respect people, but I'm not going to. Don't come back at me. And I hate this stuff where some of them are saying, well, we'll just kill you. Don't say that to me.
Southerners love to, and I'm not trying to be mean or be whatever you call it or whatever. Northerners obviously have their problem, but Southerners love to kill you. I mean, if you say, I'm going to kill you, I think it's a very normal comment to say, I'm going to kill you. I mean, if you do this, I'm going to kill you, I swear, you know. But I mean, you guys are actually going to friggin' do it. You guys are going to kill way more than we are.
There's a lot of these people, though, that are rising up in the movement where they're actually making threats. And I'm not talking about the South. I'm talking about all across the United States.
What do you mean threats?
Well, we've had, if you look and pay attention, there's some that they'll just flat out tell you, I'll kill you. You try to stop me from coming in the bathroom. They don't say I, they say we, like they've got a movement going on.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And I'm like, don't be making threats like that because you don't know who all's out here listening to you. You threaten to kill me But if you come in a bathroom and I'm in there and you've got a beard and you're dressing like a woman just because, don't tell me that because I'm going to say something to you. Don't come in this bathroom, especially if there's a kid in there, because I'm fixing to back your ass out of there. And you
Well,
telling me you want to
they
kill
have
me?
but they have communal bathrooms too. You know, they do have those. Some it's like
Well,
they have ladies, men's, and then they have family. So sometimes there's ones where anybody in the
that's
family.
different. That's different. But, like at Walmart, you got a men's bathroom, you got a ladies' bathroom.
Yeah.
But if you come in there and I've seen this
Are you
happen.
seeing? Are you seeing? What do you? I haven't seen that. So. I
I have. Well, we got two
Well,
trans
the
here.
world is very gay right now. Like I was like because I always think in terms of which timeline am I on. So I was watching this TikTok
Yeah.
video, and the ad came on, and there was this very good-looking gay guy, and he's so gay, and he's talking about something that's fabulous. I can't remember now. I'm trying to remember, and he was all cute, and he looked burly. He was a good-looking, masculine-looking man. He had big shoulders. He wasn't trying to be a skinny, scrawny girl. No, he was a handsome, good-looking guy, so gay. The way he acted, his voice, he was like, oh my, and he was so cute. And I was like, wow, what a gay. That guy was so gay. And he's doing this whole ad, and I keep seeing like men in sort of or boyish or sort of like young men looking arms on girl t-shirts, and they're just trying to make everything homogenous right now, and it's fine. The guy is adorable, whatever. I just noticed, I was like, wow, I'm in a very gay timeline, like, oh, this is the timeline where everybody's gay, and then if you listen to Stone But Not Alone, that's a really interesting channel actually. I actually like that channel, and then Mel's channel too. She gives good content because of her. It's not what she says; it's who her guests are. She has these fantastic conspiracy guests, but then she'll have somebody arguing, and she sort of hosts it with her big hat, a fabulous looking wig, I would say. And then she's up there showing herself and her all dolled up. But then other people, but the talk is really interesting because she's got this guy on there named Rant, R-A-N-T. It's like R.A.N.T. And his wife, Mrs. Rant. And he's really knowledgeable on all of this stuff, all the way back down to source. I mean, he really goes deep. This guy's really, really. So then there's a woman on there who's British, just like Mel. And she's like, I know everything about the occult. I've studied all this stuff for years and years. And she somehow puts it. She doesn't believe in some parts of it, and he really does. And he's into. I would love to get that guy on my channel, but her channel is really, both of those two channels. He gets really into open-minded conspiracy information. It's really interesting, actually. I subbed up to her, actually. She's going to do a live, I think, is it today or tomorrow? She picks these she chooses these interesting topics, like what's the last one? She gets into historical dark figures, and she brings on these very knowledgeable, intelligent people to argue, and who come from different points of view, but who seem to have a lot of knowledge on both sides. Really interesting. A very conspiracy. She doesn't promote. Actually, Mel doesn't believe in anything conspiracy, but she allows the guests to talk about it, and she's got some really phenomenal guests. And I kind of wish I could go over there to that show now, but Mel and I are at odds, which Dave tried to heal because Mel, in my opinion, you could say she's a woman, right? But then you could look at her and you could say, it could be a very, very pretty young gay boy playing all dressed up with his fabulous outfit, and with his fabulous wig, which he plays with ever so naturally, but you could look at, and then the boobs. I was going to do this whole thing on her, and she looks really great, she's all dolled up, but you can tell the boobs are way too high for a normal girl. You know what I mean? So you could say, oh yeah, she's a really pretty girl, but you could look at her and you could also say, well, what if she was a very pretty young gay boy? And I noticed, and this is very crude and rude, as she said several times, that her head was up her ass. And she said, "Oh, my head is up my head's up my ass. I can't think. Oh, I'm sick. My head's up my ass. Well, I don't even know. My head's up my ass. I don't know what day of the week it is. Ha ha. Oh, my head's up my ass. Well, my head's up my ass. And I kept like, my head's up my ass. Like a normal guy. Now that seems a little more gay of an expression. My head. What's the head of the fellas? You'd call the head. Well, yes, you would, right? Up the ass. Well, hey, it makes sense if you're gay, and I'm not against it. Be a pretty girl. It's fine. Be a beautiful, pretty girl. If you want to be very, very good at it, you can see it either way. So I'm looking. Also, I said, well, I wonder about, her neck and her Adam's apple. And then I go and I look, and there's a video, and she's got a damn scarf around her neck, hiding her what would normally be the Adam's apple, kind of, possibly, giving away the fact that she could be a very pretty, very feminine looking little gay boy. It happens all the time.
Yeah. Well, I've got a cousin that is gay, and he's very masculine looking, but he's very feminine in the way that he acts. That I've got my two best friends. I'll just be honest. The two best friends I have, one is male, one's female, and both of them are gay. They've been the best friends I've ever had. I don't like it when people are homophobic and they start talking bad about gay people. And I've got another friend that's trans, and but they're not my best friend, but they're trans. And then I've got one that is not trans, is more of a transvestite. He likes to dress in women's clothes, and you would never know that he's a guy.
Really? All right, tell us about the trans one. Tell us about that.
Well, the one that is trans, I went to school with when he was a he, and he is now a she, changed names, everything, has had all the surgery done except the bottom. And but totally a different person, because in school, this person is very smart and still very smart, but never talked to anybody. He was very withdrawn. He didn't talk much. Just totally different. But now that she has gone through the transition, she's just a freaking bubble. Totally different.
So how old was he when he started?
Let's see. I'm 60, year under me, so that makes her 59.
I'm 61. I'm
she,
older than you.
She just had it done about 5 years ago. That's how long it took. But she came out about 15 years ago.
All right, so she did it as an adult.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfully fine to me.
See,
I have no issue. I have issue with the kids. I have the issue with them targeting the kids.
I don't go for that, and I don't like it. And I say, wait till you're 25 when your brain is fully formed and you've went through all the stages of curiosity and wondering and all of that stuff.
Right.
And then decide, because
in fact, what they really should encourage.
Goes through phases.
They should, what they should encourage is, if a young person's saying, confused about my gender, be like, and it's a woman, say, you know what, go get through 25. If you can have a baby, have one. If you do want to change, at least you had a baby, and you'll never regret that you didn't use your body.
That's another one of my points, and I know Lionel needs to go, but I do want to say this. I agree with the part that I think they're trying to push this trans agenda so early because it's a form of a type of genocide. They know that if they can do this, then they can never have a baby.
Yeah.
They have succeeded.
Yeah.
And cutting down the population.
Yep.
And
confusing the populace. It's also a big distraction, and a lot of these people regret it. That's the thing that people
it is, because they're doing it too young.
Yep.
And your hormones is all over the place,
and they can't get their breasts back. Once your breasts are gone, you can get fake ones, but
yeah, but once you go through that genitalia thing, that there's no coming back. You could have a reverse surgery, but if you've already messed yourself up with hormones and they remove,
you can't come back, is what they say. But
no,
maybe they can later. I don't know.
No, But I know that Lionel needs to go, and I really enjoyed this chat. I've enjoyed talking to you, and it is raining out here. It's thundering, and I'm about to
Wow.
move. And I don't
Wow.
need
Look
to
at that. Look at that. Amazing.
It is really coming down now. But anyway,
Oh, the drug. So my
I
brother
have
was
blood tests.
he was gonna my brother Bobby was going to do a gender they tried to get him to do it when he was in high school, but he ended up just being transdressing,
Yeah,
play acting, and then he became a gay boy, a gay man when he was 21. He came out as a gay man and said finally he would rather change his gender than admit to being a gay man. That's how against being a gay man he thought he had to be. That he actually hated the fact that he was a gay man, because a gay boy or whatever, because our family was so macho. My two brothers were very macho, and my
yeah,
dad was uber masculine. Not tall, but just super, just just big T testosterone, scary in a way, very Viking. So my brother Bobby was like this, younger, frail, thinner, girlier, obsessed with Hollywood, obsessed with Barbies and movies and Betty Day, all the typical gay things. And but very very fit, like wiry, but really angry and just crazy. And the thing that stopped him from going through with the whole hormonal surgery and things, which is the same thing that stopped him when he got AIDS, he did not want to be hooked on a pharmaceutical drug for some reason. But he certainly didn't mind recreational drugs. He was hooked on those
one thing
things.
it has done is it's allowed the true gay people to come in and not feel so ostracized, and I'm glad for that.
Oh,
But
nobody ostracizes gay people anymore, Cut. Come on.
yeah,
That's what I'm
and
saying. The
that's the good
TikTok
part.
video was a gay guy. And look, no, I don't know anyone bashing gays. I think that's all. Everyone thinks they're bashing them. No, they're not. They're running the goddamn world. Come on, people. We're over it. No one cares anymore. Be gay. I don't give a shit. Just don't make kids change their bodies before they know how they even work. That's
Yeah,
all I care about. Do what you
and
want to do, bitches. You know what I mean? I don't care. No one's against
talking.
LGBT. Look, there's goddamn freaking parades in little towns in America with little kids in 5th grade acting like they have to be transgender. And it's like, look, if you don't love your body the way it is, that's something we should work on. Why don't we try to get you to love your body as it is before we try anything else? Let's see if we can get you loving on yourself with a male penis or a female vagina. Let's just see if we can fix your sad self-loathing and maybe perhaps a little bit of mental illness you got there, baby. Let's see if we can fix that. How about we try?
And how about too, we stop talking about sex so much in front of small children? I mean, that didn't happen
I
when we
mean, they
were
are pushing. Look, you're going to lose the library altogether now if you just take away all the males and females. Is that by design? Yes. Is that part of Agenda 21 or getting rid of all the people? Yeah. Cut off their penis, make them think they's a girl. That bastardizes the original plan, which was the male and the female. They're making a baby. Okay, they make a third
that's the whole thing right there.
That's the whole thing on the original nature plan. Nature is a program. It's a plan. It's a program. You grow shit. Okay, it goes male, female, impy do, poppy poo, make a third thing. And that's how the program works. And you bring in all these drugs and all this shit and all these heavy metals, and you put whatever, you poison everybody with essay this, essay that, the toothpaste. You put little citric acid and everything. You put a little red 40 and a little dash of yellow number 4 and blue number 5, and you put it all together in a little tiny eensy beensy little mixture, and you sell what's all this blue food and blue drinks. You know what I mean? There's all this.
There's
that's poisoning. They're poisoning the people. And then everybody's crazy. Oh, doctor, give me a pill. Now I need another pill because I'm crazy from the other shit you gave me. I didn't even know you gave me, So what well, I was taught to clean up you clean up your body, you clean up your act, you clean up your section of the planet. That's what we're supposed to be doing here. I think your body is a physical representation of the whole universe, maybe the whole multiverse. Your body, if it's toxic, it's because you clean up your body. You literally do your part to affect your entire timeline, your entire parallel universe that you created yourself. Every time you clean up your body or love your body or do something good for your body, cover it with oils. Cover your body with oils and give yourself a massage and love your body. Seriously, put the oils on the back of your neck, all around your neck. That hits every point, all the meridians. Study the meridians. But Lionel, if you haven't studied the meridians show you, the points that are connected all throughout your body. All that ancient medicine from China.
You're right. You're right. We agree 150%, Rose.
Well, that's nice.
I've got to go in though. I'm about to freeze to death. And Lionel,
Rose,
I know
we have to go now.
Yeah.
Good
I love
chatting
you
with you,
both so
Sippy.
much. Thank you.
Love you.
Rose.
Look at Lionel. He's been trying to get us together for years now, haven't you?
Well,
Secret.
24 opens a new door. So I'm glad I got to talk to you, Rose.
Double it, and you've got 48. And 48's my favorite number, as you know.
Oh, 48. Well,
Yes.
No, 33. We're going to do 333.
Mm-hmm. So amazing. I'll talk about it on my channel. I was live with Lionel and Miss Sippy Talker, who I've been talking about for years now. Oh my God, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to make a joke.
If you do that, come over to my channel, please, and leave me a link to Mel so I can go check that channel out. I'd like to know. I'd like to sit and listen.
She doesn't like me, and if Dave mentions me, which he ever so much does like to do on other people's channels, she gets all huffy puffy because she doesn't like that I haven't confirmed that she's not a little pretty little boy who's playing dress up.
Oh,
you tell me, Lionel. Now, I wanted to literally videotape just her. She's one of these people that's so interesting to look at. You only want to look at her. And she's in a little box on a panel, but she's got the big hair, and she's got her sexy outfit hiding kind of her Adam's apple, but then showing like this cleavage that's a little too high, but looks really good if you're like faking it really well, So you tell me, baby. And then her big wig is just fabulous, right? Big swirling dark curls are always cleverly arranged right in front of her neck.
Wow.
Her neck. It's amazing.
Adieu.
love you, Lionel.
Adieu. Bye, honey.
I thank you very much. You guys,
son.
I love you.
I'll drop down.
Ciao for
Love you,
now.
honey. Love you, honey.
Go
Light
ahead,
at the end of the tunnel is you. Bye, ladies. Thank you, Miss Sippy. I love you lots.
Love you
Thank you
too.
very much for that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good night. Good night.
Good night.